Theoretically, preparing to
looks like
stream.
it worked.
Yeah, setting up your meeting for YouTube Live.
It says live on my end.
Yeah, I know it's still doing here. Redirecting and it's live.
Live.
It's alive.
Yeah, live. It worked. Hello, everybody. In YouTube land. Welcome to the Arcade Hangout. We don't have music again. I'm going to have to get my own soundboard. This is getting ridiculous.
Well, theoretically, we should still be doing the intros with our friend Dick.
Well, we could do that, but anything. Somebody is,
well, yeah, but it's added in post.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh, it's kind of like an actor trying to work on a green screen. You kind of need something to work off of.
Well, I think it's just about going in with the energy.
Yeah.
Regardless of the background noise.
Like 5, 4, 3, 2,
sure,
1. Yeah. I don't have my bell either because I'm in my little barcade here.
Did you guys see the video about like I know this is like getting on a total tangent right away, but like the video about how you're not supposed to use the term guys anymore when you're referring to
because it's like it could be girls and guys or guys and gals.
Yeah. It's anyway, not gender inclusive. Yeah.
I immediately thought, of course, of the intro of every single one of John's videos.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. That's what I was doing.
Yeah.
But
that's what reminded me of it.
If you're doing an arcade podcast where it's all dudes, you're like, yeah, you can use guys. That's perfect.
So yeah, I have OLD syndrome. I'm not allowed to use it.
Damn it! I thought you was.
Harry's got assets.
I got the tits. I got the assets. I got 200% more girls than the other guys.
I got tits too. I can't.
I know.
Do it.
Actually lots of tits in this hobby. Actually.
Welcome to Tit Talk.
Oh my God, I like it.
I'm your host.
Sort of like TED Talk, but with tits.
My vagina hasn't come in yet.
Yeah.
My vagina's coming Wednesday next week. Then I can
Amazon
say guys.
Prime? Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't a Prime item. I have to wait for that one.
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to be crude and grab other things. That's just not okay.
No, it was perfect. Anyway, welcome everybody to the Arcade Hangout. Everybody's favorite arcade podcast that always washes their dick after they take a piss. We'll go into that later.
If you made the list, congratulations.
For the podcast that always washes their hands.
We'll never talk to you again. Yeah.
Yes, it's a qualifier for being on the show.
Wait, did I miss something, or is there a joke about washing your dick?
Washing your dick before you leave the bathroom at Grinkers.
Well, at least your hands.
You wash your dick?
Oh, wash your
He just
hands.
whips it out into the sink.
It's like, wash your hands after you touched your dick.
Where do you wash it? Yeah, no, all right, got it.
I was picturing someone just flipping it out right into the
I haven't even
sink.
had any beer yet. That's scary.
Hey, bro, how's it hanging?
I was seriously going over like last week's episode trying to think of the wash your dick joke. And I just but now it's a joke.
Would you like me to wash yours?
That always wash. That's what I meant to say is we're the podcast that always washes their dick. That washes their hands after we touch our dick. I said it again.
Wow. Mark is on to something here. I think
200% cleaner dicks than the other guys.
Can we start over?
Hey guys, we are washing our dicks.
We do actually do better when we have trouble going live on air.
Now we're awkward because we're.
Let's just say that a few of us witnessed people, and you guys know who you are out there at Grinkers, so we're not going to say names, but people. We're touching their dicks and not washing their hands and leaving the bathroom.
There's a list.
Faux pas, because I'm touching a 720 controller. I'm touching your dick.
Yeah.
just reaching out and opening up the handle for the door. You're touching their dick.
But then they're touching controls. Dick. Every marathon game has some essence of dick on it.
They may as well have opened the door with their dick.
Oh, God.
I saw somebody do that quite a bit.
Yeah,
open the door with their dick.
I know. Nick,
That's impressive.
When I saw you, it reminded me of bringing this up. So yeah, Nick told me of a few people, and you know who you are out there.
I mean, at least just run the water and put your hands around and pretend like. No.
Yeah,
at least
right.
Need,
minimal
hands,
effort.
Wash hands, please. I think next year, if we make a poster. I'll make 2 posters, one to hang on the door that says, "Wash your hands after you touched your dick."
Yeah.
No, it's gonna say wash your dick. I mean,
But then what about
It's
the
gonna say
people who
wash your
use,
dick.
if you use the flop over technique, that actually would not be inclusive of them, right?
What's the flop over technique?
Oh, Jim can explain the flop over technique. He has a whole video on it.
He pees without touching it.
Yeah. Yeah, you just
Was it like the camping thing?
camping thing.
Oh, sorry.
I guess that was a different show.
Man.
No, where you just let it flop over the top. And you don't have to touch it.
Wow.
Yeah. Or you
do
could
you
use the
shake it?
slit.
You try sex that way too.
You can,
Well, at your age, sometimes it does just flop, doesn't it?
It just flops out the pant leg.
Yeah.
Peekaboo.
Peekaboo.
that's why he loves wearing shorts.
Howdy ho!
Lift one knee and aim for the.
Angle your
So-
Dick hangout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have
Dicks are hanging out.
before we get fully started, I just have like 3 little
We're
news
not
items
fully
I want to
started.
talk to. Yeah, well, as soon as we start talking about other Grinkers things and stuff, I do want to talk about some things I didn't get to talk about last week because we started so late. But I would like to talk about real quick Dragon's Lair.
Oh, I knew this was coming.
Yeah, I gotta talk about that. So
Your-
people that
your
don't
boner.
know or are not in the know, Dragon's Lair Kickstarter started today, and it is, I believe, $90, and it'll go to $120 when it's on full resale or sale on their site. It's a 12-inch version of Dragon's Lair, but that's about that big, about this big.
Bigger than a baby's arm.
Yeah, approximately. Yeah.
And it's made. This is the company that made the Street Fighter Champion Edition, which is really sweet. But it's going to have the Dragon's Lair scoreboard in it, and actually keep score. It's going to be running on Daphne, which is the actual best. It's not even really emulation, really. It's just reading the computer code the same exact way. So it's not trying to fake it like when you play Dragon's Lair on Sega CD or something like that.
You guys got all
Really
3 of them there. All
Yeah,
right.
it's not like that.
Nick's
It's
holding
really
his
like
up
playing it.
And
Wait,
Dave's
what's
got
that?
his there. Sorry.
The
all
little.
3 of the ones that are out.
Yeah, I got a Tempest one too
Yep, look at
over
this.
here.
1, 2, 3. Boom. There's all.
Really fun.
Oh,
These
yeah,
things
but-
are awesome. But yeah, Daphne's the best way to play it. Actually, it is really good. And Daphne has a way to tap into the scoreboard, which they have the scoreboard with the lives and everything, and it's going to be red. I know on the preview picture it was blue. That was because that was a prototype, but it is going to be red. So what else can I say about it? Oh, by the way, when I tried to order it today, they sent me an apology because when I clicked on the button, they accidentally switched it to go to their web page to buy it, and then they noticed they made a
Oh.
mistake and like really quick and fixed it. But I was one of those people that went in there and clicked it really quick, and that's why I bought it on the wrong thing, and I paid way too much money for it.
So you paid like you paid like retail basically.
I
for it.
paid $30 more than I should have. Yeah.
And before you know it, you're into like a whole like trap of like where is sites and
Oh, well, it's not that bad, but it was. They did apologize and they gave me an instant refund. I already have my money back, and I got. And plus, you want to get the Kickstarter because you get cool things like the keychain and a little. There's in the back of it, like sort of like the Street Fighter cab. There's going to be like in the real Dragon's Lair, there's a drawer that pops out in the back, and there's a Laserdisc player that fits in there. And they're going to actually recreate that just for fun. A little plastic thing that looks like a Laserdisc player. It even opens up, which is kind of funny. But it's just for fun, just to pretend like there's a Laserdisc player in there, I guess.
you can put a Smartie in there.
It's like a doll set. I'm going to put Ken in front of it playing Dragon's Lair, So, yeah. So anyway, that's one thing I want to bring up. I think a lot of us bought one. Who bought one here?
I'm about to do it right now. So I clicked the 90, right?
Yeah, the Kickstarter. Go to the Kickstarter page that they have a
Yeah, I
link
do.
to.
And it comes out to 105 with shipping.
Yep, that's it.
I was gonna do this online. All right.
So, Nick, did you pick up one?
No, I'm not a big fan of Dragon's Lair.
Oh, come on. Okay, kick them. Somebody kick them.
Sorry, I'm not a big fan of Dragon Slayer either.
You
so
could
I can't,
become an expert if you own this.
Yeah, because if you can complete it on something that tiny, then
You
the
could.
full-size upright's a
Right.
piece of cake.
Yeah. Well, I think it'd be not. The moves aren't that crazy. I think it'd be pretty beatable on that little guy. But anyway,
It
so that's
might
one of
actually
my.
be the best playing game they put out. I mean, as far as like, Centipede's a bitch on that.
No, you can't play Centipede. It's too
Tempest
tiny.
is playable,
Fighter's
but it's
impossible.
hard, and Street Fighter is really hard. So this might actually
Yeah.
be a playable game at that size.
It's more of just a novelty that you can play them. With the Street Fighter,
It's
you
OP.
can plug in your own controller and play it if you wanted to. But if at that point, why don't you just go play it on your PlayStation? You know?
I was gonna buy one just as a giant tree ornament and try to put it like on the top branch.
It's pretty heavy.
No.
Okay, so there's that. Now the other thing I want to talk about is the One Up people finally put out their Star Wars game. They put it out actually a week or two ago, but we didn't talk about it because of the Grinkers stuff we were talking about. But I did watch some coverage of it on YouTube where I wanted to see how did they recreate the yoke. Because remember how we talked about how the yoke was, they originally had a Allen 1 in there?
Yep.
Yoke. Yeah, in that Star Wars vector game. Well, what they did was they reversed engineered it, I guess, somewhat. It's completely plastic, like hard plastic. So there's no metal in it. But when somebody opened it up, it looks like it's just pots that are just rotating, and for the rotation, there's no gears at all. So I'm wondering how long that's going to hold up for. Time will tell. So keep an eye on that because so far everybody's loving it. They like the controls exactly the same. You get 3 games in one. You get the Empire Strikes Back and you get that crappy Return of the Jedi game. But
Now, I happened to be at their booth at E3 the day and the exact time where they just unveiled it. I had a front row seat and I saw it. It looked cool, but they had it way up high at a pedestal so you could take pictures of it from below, but you couldn't actually grab the yoke and play it.
Oh, and the yoke was the Allen 1 yoke on that one anyway, though.
Yeah.
So you're still not getting exactly how it feels. So I'm watching people play it and watching it where they're moving the control and everything, and it looks like it's working the way it should, and the accuracy. So, and the people that remembered it and played it a lot, and actually one guy had one next to him, and that one, I don't know why he'd buy it if he already had one, but they do have settings too to change the vector lines different ways. So you can do this in MAME too, where you can turn it where the vector lines glow more, or they shimmer a little bit, or their points are a little brighter where they meet. So just little different settings to try to make it look a little more vectory. But my complaint on that is that they still can't get that screen to look black enough. It really needs to be black. And you'll never get that with that kind of monitor, I don't think.
No, you'd have to put like a tint, maybe overlay glass, and then crank up the brightness enough to get the contrast enough to maybe get the lines. Maybe
they do have all those adjustments. Oh, they've improved the sound on it too. And the old One-Up arcades, it just had a switch for sound, either low or high. There was no adjustment like volume up, volume down. It was either one of 2 settings. So that was pretty lame. So now you can adjust that, like you should be able to. Anyway, so that's $500 if you want to buy that. I know we're the collectors in this group would never buy something like that, but there are collectors out there that would. Like Till was telling me he was actually interested in getting it. So I'm like, all right,
Does anybody watch Todd Tucky's videos?
Sometimes they're too long now.
Yeah, he brought up something about the One-Up. He said he had 2 people who bought One-Ups who got into they went to him to buy regular games. Like it brought back that nostalgia that they wanted full-size games.
Oh, so kind of like Catalyst.
Yes, he said I've had 2 people. I just watched the one the other day. I haven't watched a lot of them, but he said he had 2 people who bought One-Ups who actually brought people into my shop because they wanted more. They wanted regular games. It brought back such that nostalgia.
Yeah, that's interesting. So it's like
starts them. Yeah, didn't they release aren't they going to release a Ninja Turtles one as well too? A 4-player?
That's already out. That's
okay.
Out.
I saw that one
and
too. I actually played that one firsthand at E3, and it's set up as a 4-player, but you could hardly fit 2 guys side by side. So
it looks very cramped.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they keep selling out everywhere for the Ninja Turtles. That's like a super big seller. They can't keep it on the shelf.
Just wait till January. It'll be all over Craigslist.
Probably. But one thing that's different too that they improved is, how like the marquee never lit up, it was just a big sticker.
Yeah.
Well, the Star Wars is their first one that they're doing where it actually has a light up marquee and actually looks really good. So props to them to at least trying to make some improvements there for their home market, cab. So anyway, the last thing I have is this kind of cool documentary. It's a 7-minute documentary I tripped across on YouTube. It's if you just do a search on YouTube for the history of Chiller. So this guy goes into the back history of Chiller and how it was created, why it was created. They show, originally like those torture scenes were supposed to be later in the game, but they put them in the front because they wanted they wanted controversy because of their Death Race game had controversy, like running over people. You guys, I remember that.
Which, if you ever played that game, is so funny that was controversial. I mean, it's
yeah,
literally like not even stick figures. Yeah.
Barely stick figures. Yeah, exactly. So just a kind of a funny note. I made a note that at 4 minutes and 37 seconds into the thing is the almost the last stage of the game where you're in this graveyard and it shows the topless girl that is in the graveyard, which I was surprised they even put that in. There's a top. Actually, she starts out not topless, but she's buried waist deep, and you can shoot her shirt, and her shirt pops off, and she's topless. And they show her boobs and everything, and then you can start shooting off her arms and all that crap.
Is that on YouTube? Or is
that's on YouTube. This is all on YouTube. Yeah,
I love that Chiller game, so I'll definitely check that out.
Yeah, the history of Chiller, it's called. Yeah. So people out there can go look that up. So
that's always one of my first tokens at a Fun Spot whenever I go there.
I think it's a fun shooting game. I bet Jim would be really good at it. I bet he could probably beat it. It was the tricky thing about Chiller was more about you got to hit the hidden things that are like there's certain targets you have to hit to complete it. It's not so much about points. It's more about at the beginning they'll show you the stage and what things you need to shoot. And you got to remember those things. So it's like one would be like a hand, another one's a knife, another one's an eyeball, another one's a person's head or whatever. It's things like that. So you shoot all those things, you complete the stage. It's not, and you can shoot other things for extra points if you, excuse me, if you want to. But that's how you can beat. There's an actual ending to the game. So, but yeah. So Jimbo, get on that and finish it. If anybody can finish it, it's Jim. He's amazing.
Finish what?
At Chiller. If you ever wanted to beat it, I bet you could.
I don't own it. So
yeah. But
besides me, has anyone ever played Chiller when they were young? I did.
I did. Yeah, I did.
Where'd you see it at?
Mine was at Putt Putt Golf and Games.
My Dream Machine in Nantasket.
Yeah, my brother and I thought it was crazy. Like, wow, look at this.
I couldn't believe it. I saw it at the Del Mar Fair. They had arcade games in tents back in the day because that was the big thing.
Why would that be any different than having Mortal Kombat out on the floor?
That was before.
It was way before.
That was like late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah. It's years before Mortal Kombat.
No, but what I mean is for the shock factor and, having that kind of gruesome.
Oh, because not enough people bought them. Not enough operators would buy it because they're afraid of the controversy. They would see it at shows or whatever and be like, I'm not buying that for my family arcade. It's too gruesome.
And I guess
so by the time Mortal Kombat came along, it was just more acceptable then?
And I think it's like that's at least a fighting game where Chiller, there was no like story for why you're shooting these people. It's just like, well, there's this dude in this guillotine. Why don't you,
It's pure torture.
Straight torture.
Yeah, it is.
It's straight up torture. You're not trying to protect yourself or protect somebody else.
Right.
You're torturing people that are tied up and screaming when you shoot them.
Yeah, I have no interest in that game. I never have. Like,
those spiders come down on people's faces, and the spiders eat their faces too.
A lot of little details like that.
Yeah, it's pretty gnarly for what they made. They purposely just went all out, and I don't think very many. I think the documentary talks about how many were produced out there, and it's not that many.
No,
it's interesting for how many people like you see the interest on Clav, or a lot of people, like look at that's so cool, but like really, how many people actually hang on to that game in there. Like I would like to know the turnover.
If it wasn't a rare game, it wouldn't have that. But the fact that it's such a hard game to find makes it like, oh, I got to get that. I want to hold on to it. Yeah,
I've never.
I mean, I like the game, but I see what you're saying. Like, if you did, like, I think a lot of people just buy it for that specific reason that it's a hard game to find.
That's another clear example of a game where, like, if it's at an arcade, like at Fun Spot or something like that, like, or wherever, like I'll walk by, I'll look at it for a minute, especially if someone's playing it, but I don't want to play it. Like, I don't give a like. It's not my thing. There's Exidy put out so many better themed games.
Yeah, I had never played Crossbow or I never even heard of those, Crossbow or Cheyenne.
Oh,
so
wow.
it was like my only experience with
those are the only two besides Chiller I ever saw. What are the other ones, Jim?
Other than Cheyenne and Crossbow?
Yeah, and Chiller. There's another one, right? Isn't it Crack Shot?
Crack Shot.
Never played.
Isn't there like a Catch-22?
There's a whodunit, I think, of some sort, like a themed game like that where you're trying to catch. It's like a mystery one. That's the one that intrigues me, but I forget the title of it.
I played a lot of Crossbow as a kid, but those other ones, I saw those three. I never saw the other ones.
Like, I love the humor of Cheyenne. Like, it's really like, the oh dear, and all, like, it's just and the names, although hideously unpolitically correct, but
it's so non-PC.
Simpler times.
The floozies and it's funny and it's clever.
It's called Whodunit.
Got to shoot those Native Americans where they come.
There's Dave. Here you go. There's Crossbow, Cheyenne, Crack Shot, Combat.
Combat.
A lot of C's.
Some sort of Clay Pigeon Clay Pigeon Showdown or something.
They were trying to make them all C's.
Hit and miss and Chiller.
Yeah, that's why it's Cheyenne's in there. Yeah, they try to. Make
I'm just
all
reading the
games
that are on the These are the games that are on. I think the Exidy multi.
It is weird. They all start with C. I don't know why they had to do that, but they did.
Speaking of Cheyenne, I am doing a live stream tomorrow night. Anyone that's interested of Cheyenne, yeah, I posted it on Club and stuff. At same time as our normal show, 8 p.m. Pacific. I guess that'd be 11 p.m. 11
Jim,
p.m. Eastern for you guys.
You don't have a board to switch out other shooting games, like you don't have like Crossbow on yours.
No, I didn't get a multi. I just got just Cheyenne. That's the only game I give a shit about. People are like, that's the first question I get is like, oh, you should get the Exidy 440 kit. And I'm like, no, I don't give a shit about the other games. I'd be intrigued to maybe try one or two, but for the price,
you'd like Crossbow. That's very similar to Cheyenne in ways.
Nah, actually, they're quite a bit different.
Well, you're protecting people, right? I mean,
yeah, but that game, I think that one has an ending too. I'm not aware.
There's a boss
does not have an
end.
ending that I'm aware of. And it's got a little bit of a different gameplay.
So much for that Christmas gift idea.
Just send it over here, Carrie. I'll sell it.
What is the
Whodunit is the only other one that last I saw they're like $500 or $600.
$600.
Well, Carrie, he said he wouldn't want it, but that's only.
But that's Andrew. That's because they're not making them anymore.
Oh.
I don't think they're still making them.
Crafty. Where's he at?
Whodunit's about the only one I'd like to try, but.
I wonder if like one up
Target
could do
games
a
are
gun
kind of
game
fun.
like that, where they would have like just a gun game with like 3 or 4 Exidy games in there too. I wonder if that probably wouldn't sell the good though, right? As I'm speaking that out loud, but yeah,
right. And they'd have to deal with the hardware issues of getting that to work with an LCD.
Yeah. Never mind.
Oh yeah, that's like major hard.
Possible, but shit, they made a fucking Star Wars controller, so who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know. Exidy games are interesting though. That's for sure.
Andrew, you should get the Star Wars vector game, and you can put it next to your vector game, and you can have people come over and go, see why 1UP sucks.
Wouldn't that be awesome? I mean, I could play with that thing on my lap like it's a Switch.
I want to know if there's any way that they could sell.
Oh, hey,
what's going on here?
Oh, I see
sharing.
Oh,
look at
the
that.
hell?
That's
I'm
the
confused.
Whodunit.
Oh wow! I've never seen Whodunit.
Is that a pistol?
Cool.
Isn't that
It looks
fucking
like a
awesome?
board game like
Yeah.
that. Like that's so
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the.
Is it like a
mounted gun.
shotgun?
It looks like a shorter stock. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
And I think where is it?
A little Viagra will fix that.
There's a
right
screen
there,
grab.
The sawed-off shotgun top there, right below the whodunit.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Wow.
I wonder if that's the gun.
For whodunit, yeah.
Yeah. The only one of those
That's a link
games
to
I've
the
ever
club.
seen in person as a child. I've seen all of them. Well, not all of them, but like
I love how
several of
like
them.
the murder mystery books are right below the video game. It's like,
Yeah.
this is what you're talking
Yeah.
about?
It
Yeah,
looks kind of
and
like
it's-
I don't know. I like the theme.
Isn't there a whodunit pin?
Yes. I
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Yeah, because I think I've
Anyways.
played that one where you're on the elevator and you have to try to guess
Well, we know that
who the
the
murderer
screen share
is.
works.
Yeah, I played at that pin with Keith not too long ago,
Yeah.
and it was actually really fun. Is that the one that's a slot
Yeah.
machine in it? There's like a slots
Ye-
on the table.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and you
It
go
was
on,
really
and you
fun.
try to get up to the elevator. Yeah, that was they had it at Free Gold Watch.
Oh,
Mm.
yeah, that was fun. I liked it.
Yeah. So if anyone wants to watch
Wow.
Cheyenne, I'm gonna try to play that tomorrow. But yeah, the whodunit looks cool. So
That looks very cool.
I've never played that one.
I've never seen that.
Never
I
seen
don't
it,
think
that
ever.
CPO looks badass.
Yeah, the artwork's amazing.
Yeah.
A lot of levels too. Looks like a lot of screens.
Yeah.
Keep it fresh.
So yep. Tomorrow, yep. Cheyenne tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Too bad they can't see. Oh no, wait! If you have the other camera, they can see your stance. But
Yeah,
it won't be
no,
as ridiculous as at Grinkers.
That's because my cabinet's at a reasonable height.
It's not set for like a
The
12-year-old.
one at Grinkers has no leg levelers. It's just flat on the ground. Mine's about 4.5 inches higher. Yeah. I put pinball leg levelers on mine so that I could really hike the thing up. But because Cheyenne didn't come stock in it's in the shorter than the smaller of the two Exidy cabinets. Not the big monster one that I forget what game that came in. I know that's the one for that Schiller uses. I think maybe it's Crossbow. Anyways, but yeah. So I do have a camera. My webcam is set up to get my stance, my trap shooting stance. That's how that developed.
With the legs
that's about it.
separated.
Yeah, it's like a long front stance. Your back legs outstretched. And
I've seen it.
I whipped it out for you. Yeah,
Whip this out.
Yeah, it'll be weird. I'm gonna try using Restream tomorrow. I want to see if so that means potentially that it won't just be. I mean, obviously YouTube, but I'm gonna try to be doing Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and like Mixer or something simultaneously. So we'll see how that goes.
Jim, how long is the performance going to last? Approximately.
I don't know. Well, I mean, I'll probably play for a couple hours.
Okay.
But I don't know if that won't be one game. It'll probably
how long is like one game for you?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
If I'm doing well, it could be half an hour to 45 minutes, I suppose.
Okay.
I know I'm rusty. I need to play a couple games before I start streaming.
Jim, are you on Twitch at all?
Yeah, I just made an account on there. It's the same as my YouTube handle, Dinky Flicks.
So Mean Green's asking. So Dinky Flicks.
Yep.
Mean Green.
There you go.
Yeah.
Jim usually posts something on YouTube if he's starting to stream, right? Like
Yeah. Yep.
Andrew, is it cold there? Is that why you're inside?
Dude, it's fucking freezing. We've got like a foot of snow. It's crazy.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's
Shit balls.
9 degrees outside right now. So no, I'm not in the garage.
9?
Yeah.
That's one of the things Zyla said. Like she hates Denver is the cold.
Well, this is some bullshit here. We've already had 2 pretty good snowstorms, and it's not even fucking Halloween yet.
Yeah.
Grief.
That's
That's 29
not-
here.
That's not normal
Oh,
for
it's so cold.
for
Yeah,
Denver.
the opposite. We had heat here all last week. We got fires.
Yeah.
Now we're supposed to get 70 to 80 mile an hour hurricane force winds.
It's all the Santa Anas.
tonight.
Right?
Which just is crazy.
Yeah, no, it's we were on fire a little bit before this shit, but we just got dumped on with snow, so we're out. So we sent all of our firefighters to you guys. So good luck.
We'll take them.
Yeah.
Yeah. What the fuck? Yeah, and then deer hunting's next week, and then just fucking there's a cold snap here too, and I'm like, God damn, like it was just comfortable like last week. Now I have to put like every fucking layer of clothing on. without freezing my ass.
So, I don't know if there's any chance at all of this, but like,
holy shit!
Yep.
That's there you go. There's the garage. You can kind of see it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Covered in fucking snow.
No.
Wow.
Leave it on that doorstep and get the hell out of here.
You filthy animal.
At least there'll be nobody sleeping there. It's too cold.
Well,
I have to kill all of you.
Did you try Staples?
Staples.
I'd never do anything to hurt this little one. I have 4 dogs, 6 cats.
Yeah, he just keeps talking in the background. Sorry, we're talking.
Can't wait. Yeah,
I love that time of the year.
Getting into Christmas season and stuff. Yeah. But hey, this is like a Halloween episode.
Yeah. Halloween in a few days.
Well, we started with Chiller, so that's pretty awesome. Yeah. Oh, look.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think. Yeah, I didn't think of like.
What was everyone's favorite costume that they dressed up as a kid? Like,
that's a good question.
I'd have to post a picture of it because honestly, it's kind of blackface.
How about the Babadook?
I was just thinking that.
That wasn't a kid one, but that was a good costume.
That was a really good.
The Babadook, yeah. That was fun because I liked that one because it was like an actual art project to build it.
Yeah, it came out really good.
Yeah, thanks. No, there was. I'm sure. I swear we talked about this before. Do you guys remember? Like they had costumes that were these giant inflatable heads, and they were like monsters, and like. As a kid, you put this giant balloon thing on your head. It was like, I don't know, beach ball size, right? And then you strapped it on and then you painted your face the color of the costume. So like if it was like a green froggy monster thing, you'd paint your face green. Well, I had a black cat monstery thing. So I had to paint
the blackface not allowed. Come on now.
Dude, someone kick Chris.
It's better than.
I thought you were too drunk to be on the show.
It's better
right,
than
which is
really low bar. Wasn't until I found a special guest though.
Ruh-roh.
He hasn't got back to me yet.
Where'd you find it?
Yeah, right. Is it in your pants?
It was a Tinder ad. No,
a Tinder ad.
Anyway,
I meant to go to ask on Slack before.
Oh my god.
Wrong fucking ad.
Can you tilt your camera up a little bit?
Yeah.
Too late.
A little bit further up. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
A little
Sorry, was that was the
hit the wrong
line? That was the line that I crossed to get him to.
Come on, C-Bar, come back.
Well, so anyway, it's like,
can you, Russ?
We've been posting like all these like so like I think Steve, you started it right with the elementary school pictures on our private.
Oh yeah.
So it reminded me of that, and I think I still have that picture someplace. I'll see if I can dig it out, but it'd be really funny. But yeah, that
I was tempted to post like a class reunion photo, be like, "Pick out Jim." It's like from like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But at least you were blackface for a cat. Like it would be worse if it was like I was Mr. T or I went as
I was not Mr. T.
Exactly.
Oh my god.
I was Gary Coleman.
Right.
Because you're about the same height.
I bet they had a Gary Coleman costume where it's the plastic mask and then you wear that little plastic shirt. That's
totally like the
Gary Coleman.
There's just a comic. There's a big comic bubble that pops out. Says what
talking about. Yeah, it's actually his face. I bet that's a costume. I gotta look.
You could have doubled up. You could have been Mr. T, and you could have been Gary Coleman as Mr. T.
Could have been Bill Cosby.
What a meta game that would have been. Yeah,
and the rape thing would have been like the worst.
True. Yeah. A white guy dressed
up
as Bill
Cosby
right now
Simpson.
Terrifying.
I want to play with your pudding pops.
Yep.
OJ Bill Cosby Simpson.
Oh no.
Actually, it would be really funny to do a totally non-politically correct costume party, but that'll never fucking happen.
Do they ever have an Emmanuel Lewis costume?
Oh boy.
Uncle George.
Hey, Uncle George. Uncle George. How come I never grow up on the show, George?
It sounds like an old lady.
Uncle George. Uncle Georgie.
Old Jewish woman. Jesus.
I need a beverage, I guess, on that note.
Well, related to actually the combination of what Leo was asking about favorite costume as a kid and what Andrew was saying about being really cold. Like, this wasn't the greatest costume I had or anything, although I can't remember anything that was like really awesome as a costume as a kid. But the most memorable and the most fun one I had is, so my mother, first of all, is kind of a weird germaphobe. And so, she was she's always like, oh my God, you're going to get sick. So each Halloween, it would inevitably get cold right about Halloween. And so she would make me wear a coat. And so I felt like I never got to show off my costume because I'm always wearing this fucking coat that's over whatever, princess outfit or whatever it might have been. Like, I got to wear a coat because you're going to get sick. Mm-hmm. So one year, and I must have I don't think I was even double digits. Like, I was probably, 8 or 9 years old. I told my mom I'd gotten a new coat for the school year, because that was back when you always got we're going to go shopping for the school year. Yep. And so I gotten this coat that I particularly liked. And so I dressed up as I said, you're going to make me wear a coat anyway. I want to just wear the coat as my costume. And so I went as Shirley Holmes, Sherlock Holmes's wife or sister or whatever. I don't remember. And I had a beagle dog. Oh, so I dressed up like Shirley, kind of like a female Sherlock Holmes with a magnifying glass and my beagle and not a perfect hat, but at least a hat. And that was my costume. And it was just so much fun to go trick or treating. And I remember a couple of places, like my beagle dog, the people would open the door, and this is, I obviously now, like, these days, I'd be appalled if someone came to the door with a dog, because my dogs would be like, kill. But although I always have to put them in another room anyway. But it was cool because people give, sometimes people would be like, oh, I'll be right back. I have to go get let me go get a biscuit. Let me go get a treat for your dog. And that was, like I said, the low budget, not much to it, but the most fun. And it was also kind of a little act of defiance, because I was just so fucking fed up of never getting to actually show my costume, because I was like, no, I don't need to wear a coat. No, you need to put your coat on. You're going to get sick. You're going to get a cold. Like,
I'll risk it. No, I don't care. I want to go. Right. This costume.
I grew up.
Do you have a little pipe you could blow bubbles with?
Although I did have a pipe. Like, I think my dad had a pipe. Nice. It was, again, not perfect, but it was, close enough. But remember when my mom's talking about, like, you're gonna get a cold. I grew up in San Jose, California.
Oh yeah, geez,
it doesn't. There's no fucking snowstorms. No. Like, maybe it was 50. Brrr.
Well, you know how California people are.
That's true. We do have thin blood.
I was thinking like Massachusetts. Sometimes it's been cold like Halloween, but yeah, San Diego, you shit me? I mean,
no, San Jose, but still, yeah.
San Diego would be.
Let's see. Oh yeah. But yeah, like
on fire.
Yeah. Here, fucking on fire.
Power here too.
Yeah, I know. Yes, and I am on for everybody. I am on a countdown. I am likely to lose my power in about an hour and a half. So
I'm wondering, is it just going to get cut off and it's going to go dark?
Somebody put up a countdown?
Yeah, I know. Well, what happened last time? Well, I'll lose my internet. What I can do is, and it's been kind of a roll of the dice. My phone actually keeps internet. So what I was thinking of doing, if we're going longer, is I'll tether to my phone. But what happened last time we had the big, thank you. The last time we had the last outage that we had, which was a real big one. This one's gonna be smaller. They've limited the scope. I'm learning all the PG&E lingo. So they've limited the scope on this wind incident or wind event. It's a PSP, planned
shutdown grid.
Power something. But it gets to PSP. But anyway, I know plans in there. But last time they shut us down, and I was like, okay, well, this sucks. But but I had my phone going. I was tethered for my internet. I'm sitting there. I'm watching The Walking Dead on Netflix, and then about midnight, the net goes away. And what they did is they ended up throttling everything. So even though I still had connection, they they throttled the internet. I couldn't make phone calls. Like I went from, being out of electricity for 2 hours and being perfectly fine to being cut off from the world.
Right.
And I'll just say that the
It's
worst.
weird.
Yeah, and I'm like, it sucked. It was after midnight. I'm like, okay, I'll go to bed. But the worst part was, so the next morning I wake up and there's smoke. And I look out the window and I see black smoke or brown smoke, and I don't know where it's coming from. Like, is this coming from the Healdsburg fire? Because the wine country is, I don't know, 75 miles from me. I mean, it's far away. There's no way that fire is going to affect me except by smoke. It's not going to burn me down. But I don't know where I live. I live in a pretty rural area. So I'm like, oh shit, is this a nearby fire? Or is this smoke blowing? And I have nothing. I have no internet. I have no phone. The only thing that I seem to get is, I think because Facebook Messenger tries constantly to make connections, that was the only way I could communicate with anyone. And I only knew that because one of my team members at work had messaged me to say that she probably wasn't going to come in, and that came through. And so every once in a while, a Facebook Messenger message would come through. But it's like I couldn't look up to see if I'm, like, if my house is threatened. Right.
Yeah.
I had nothing. I couldn't make any phone cut. Like, there was nothing. And that was worse than, like, when I lose my power, I lose my water because I'm on a well. So it's like, that was worse than losing the power. That was worse than losing the water, is just sitting here seeing smoke in the air and not knowing what was going on. And then the Highway 1, which is the only way out of here, was backed up. And I'm like, have they shut down the roads? Like, I know nothing. And there's no way for, and like, occasionally there'd be some alert that would come by, and they give you a fucking link to follow to get the latest.
Shut down the internet, right?
Like, the internet's shut down.
Hey,
so.
Carrie, just out of curiosity. So I have a wind-up emergency radio.
Yeah.
Do they still do radio broadcasts? At least you could.
I was thinking the same.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what I have for emergencies in my emergency kit. So at least it's something.
Yeah, that's
radio.
And I know that before this all happened, they were talking about, like, hey, ham radio operators, blah blah. And when I got into my car, I went to my car.
Had power. You mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like, the thing is, like,
they require. Do they?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sorry,
I don't know anything about ham radio.
They said ham radios. Everyone on like age 30 is like, oh, I'm going to have to Google what that is.
Right. Well, so as a broadcaster, if you have power, you can do it. So then, as a receiver, you'd still have to have a portable wind-up radio or something like that with power, with batteries, maybe, that you could use to plug in. But at least, like, a radio. That sounds terrifying.
Yeah, and like, I went out into my car and turned, but it's like, and I didn't really find anything. But granted, I listen to FM radio, so they're like, listen to the '80s, a little alternate rock, and it's occasionally like, oh, let's really think about the people, and let's, like, you get a little bit of that, but nothing that's specific to my area.
Nothing
and
like, hey, yeah. Sorry. Go
yeah,
ahead.
and it turns out it was just smoke that was blowing in. So it was like, I was okay, but but it was so disconcerting to wake up in the morning, go, oh shit, what is that? Let me log on, because I have 4G. And it's like, nope, not for you. And I did not get power. Yeah, and it's like, even when I wanted to leave, I tried to, like, I couldn't do a Google map because I had to go to Sacramento, and it's like, I couldn't do a Google map because I had no internet, and I didn't know what roads were open, and there was a fire over one of the bridges that had closed down the highway and this bridge that I would need to leave. And so I ended up actually Facebook messengering Jim, because I'm like, okay, here's somebody here's a friend on Facebook, because it's like, not everybody I know is on Facebook. Like, can you play? And he sent me a map that took probably 30 minutes to load, that, the different pictures, but it's like, it was enough that I could see that, okay,
screen grabs from my phone.
Okay, yeah, and it took a while to load, and so finally I knew, like, okay, I can leave going north, and so I got onto the highway, and then when I got and traffic was way backed up, to just go a few miles, it took 45 minutes to get out of where I live, and we don't have many people on the coast, so it isn't like, I live in a very populated area, like, there's 2,000 people who live in my town. But tourists were coming in like, oh, I don't know what the fuck they were thinking. Like, seriously, like, I'm sorry, we're shut down. There's no businesses open. We're in crisis, and you're goddamn coming to the coast with
it's a fire.
Yeah, we have like 50-mile-an-hour winds. So I'm envisioning them on the beach with their fucking picnics, like the sand, whack, whack, whack. Like I hope they fucking had retinal, like abrasions from that shit. I was so pissed because you can tell that there's these tourists who are like they're taking the selfies in their picnic baskets, and I'm like, fuck you, get out of here. We can't leave to get groceries, and y'all are like jamming up our roads.
Stop it, please. For God's sake, please stop it.
It's like, I'm going to go to Florida during a hurricane.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Won't this be fun? Look at this.
This will be great. My first hurricane.
There's an earthquake coming. Let's go.
I just want to see shit flying in the air like cows.
Right.
That's totally how it felt.
It's like the movies.
I'm going to go to Oklahoma during tornado season.
Yeah. Like, just let us try to cope with our lives,
wind up in Oz.
So, Carrie, did they shut down your phone when you couldn't make outgoing phone calls?
So I don't have a landline anymore.
No, but
so
on your
my
cell phone, like your cell phone.
Yeah, they did.
Well, what about like 911? Like, what if
towers lose power? You can't connect a radio to it.
But that's just it. I think that the towers are fine. I think that they throttled things, and they would still send alerts. So I'd get like the emergency alerts.
Okay, well,
those would come across, but I couldn't do anything. And it all happened kind of like at a certain time. Like and like, oh, this was their.
That's not a coincidence. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. So but yeah, it was, and my guess is if I called 911, but it did feel it was just so interesting to me. It was to experience, like I said, no electricity, no water, like those both suck, but feeling isolated, feeling like I felt vulnerable in a way that I haven't really, where like I felt like I couldn't call the police. Like I'm guessing 911 would have worked. There was probably some different system there. I didn't try it because that just felt wrong. But but I was like, if some shit went down, like, can we reach emergency personnel?
People are scumbags. They might think, hey, this area is going to have no connectivity to phone. Like, let's get it on. Like, hey, that's a nice looking house. Let's go in there.
Yeah, and it's really interesting people's different reactions. Like on Nextdoor, people, some people were like, oh, you need to get a gun for these times. I'm like, we haven't all turned into a horde of zombies. Dear God, we're just without power for a few days. Like, I'm not gonna storm my neighbor and be like, give me your clam chowder.
No, you've got enough food.
Yeah. Like at least 2 days for that. Like at least
you got. Plus, Carrie's got 2 big dogs. Woof, woof, woof.
I'll eat them.
Yeah.
No. But anyway, wow, I really went astray. I started talking about Halloween costumes and then totally went off into this whole other place.
It was a great transition. We didn't
we'll go on tangents on this show? Nah,
wait.
Get out of here.
I think I found the costume Andrew was talking about.
Oh, shit. Do you have a picture of it?
Yeah, it's in the
giant penis
in the chat. It's
gonna be Justin Trudeau in blackface.
See if it's yellow, but it's not black. But is it the same style?
The same exact style, except it was black. It had the plastic little bib and everything.
It was inflatable.
Yep. Fuck, man.
Did it come with the makeup to make your face?
Yeah. It came with like a little, whatever.
So they probably had different ones. Like if you look on the shirt, you can see the black.
Yeah, what's
cat.
it called? What's it called? Scary Spooks? Is that the Jesus Christ? That's a terrible name.
Watch out for the
Scary Spooks.
You went as a spooky Jesus Christ.
Dude, I think that was actually the same exact costume except in yellow.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I got a drink aid. Did you guys get the drink aid email for the 72 hours
for the special? Yeah.
Anything less than like 35% or something is not worth it because you spend so much on fucking shipping.
Yeah, it's the same price usually.
Yeah.
When you go to Amazon.
Right. I'm not gonna find that.
Isn't that funny? That costume, Andrew? Like, is that totally a blast from the past?
Oh, that's 100% it. I just gotta,
cool.
I gotta find the black one.
Okay. Man, that's a tough question though. Your favorite costume. Maybe like favorite costume from childhood.
Yeah, that's what he said as a kid.
That's what we're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think, have we had this conversation? I told you guys about my organic Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle costume, where I think I told you guys about that.
I don't
remember. About the real shell. Oh, okay. So my family, we're all a bunch of nature nuts, and despite what people think about hunting. But my dad, when he was a kid, and his brother, my uncle, they loved catching giant, turtles. And I can't remember how it came about, but anyways, long story short, they caught this giant snapping turtle, just monster. And I can't remember if I'm assumed that they ate it, because back then a lot of people ate turtles. And but they saved the shell. My dad cleaned it all up, polished it, and he's got a couple of big snapping, but this shell is like, I mean, it's huge and a beautiful turtle shell. Anyways, this is right in the prime of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, so I wanted to go as a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle for Halloween. I was probably 9, I don't know, 8, 9, I can't remember, maybe a little younger. Anyways, so my mom, I got this, my mom got this like green spandexy get up for me, made like a red headband and mask, and then my dad helped strap this like legit turtle shell to my back, and it covered my entire back. And it was freaking, it was pretty badass.
Cool. Was that pretty heavy or not? Are those heavy?
Heavier than you'd think, but not, I mean, it wasn't, it was a few pounds maybe.
Okay.
And
so you had a real turtle shell, and did you paint your face green, did you say?
Yeah, my mom did, and then she made a red little mask thing.
It's too bad we didn't come with pictures on the show. We should have done.
I know, because there are definitely pictures of that. And in fact, I won a costume contest. Me and my sister actually did. We each got $5 at the school. Yeah.
Well, you guys know I missed the 80s, so I missed kind of all the childhood dress up costumes and all that too. My favorite ones were the in the last few years. So one year I was the Dave Chappelle version of Rick James. And,
I remember that. I remember that picture.
And then my other favorite one is Michael Knight from Knight Rider.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was a good one too.
Yeah, those pictures you posted on your video were fucking awesome.
Yeah.
That was a great video, by the way.
Yeah, like I said, you definitely got to get the seat costume.
So for people out there that might not know, Slick Nick did an awesome, like, his own documentary on himself. I did find it interesting him talking about, like, how he got the car and stuff like that, and I love seeing the little kids checking out the car too. It was really cool. When the kid's sitting in there and he's like, "Oh wow, it's talking," that kind of thing. But anyway, Slick Nick made a little documentary on like his Knight Rider kit car, and he did show pictures from that party and going to car shows and stuff like that.
I bet you and Time Runner would have a lot to talk about if you haven't already.
Yeah, we did. We hung out a lot during Grinkfest this year and talked a lot about that stuff. Yeah. But yeah, the video was something I've been wanting to do for some time now. In fact, I shot all the footage before we went to Grinkfest, but I was just having a hard time putting it all together until
editing takes a
while. Yeah, you do it in chunks, and you'll get through it. It's just you don't sit down and think you're gonna bang it out all in one day.
No.
Take it. Yeah.
Not if you want to do a good job.
Yeah. Just work on it a little bit at a time. That way, it's not so overwhelming too, because you had a lot of footage to shoot through. So.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how you function, but when I have when you have like the creative juices going and when you don't, and so capitalize when you're in the zone, keep going, but then when you're not, just take a break.
It's sort of like drawing. Like if you're in a bad mood, it's going to come out shitty, So
So I took all this footage and I threw it all into iMovie, where that's my editor, and I just could not piece it together. And then this last weekend, it all kind of came together, and a story kind of evolved, and I shot all the interview scenes just in one sitting real quick, and just was able to splice those in, and came out pretty nice. I especially like the scenes with the music in the car.
I was waiting for something that I was hoping you were going to show, but I didn't see it, unless it doesn't work. But I thought you told me that if you push the turbo button, it makes the turbo sound. I didn't see that in the video. So you forgot to shoot that.
That's in the director's cut.
The turbine also uses the same mechanism. So I had the turbine turned on the whole time in the videos where I'm flying by and all that. And so I would have to basically, change that and use the turbo boost instead. But yes, the turbo boost does work.
So I'm going to throw out a little suggestion, just because Keith did this, and maybe you might want to do this, because you're talking about like fixing some of the electronics, like updating them and stuff.
Yeah.
So something cool that Keith did was with his R2D2 unit is he had 2 separate remotes. He has one remote that's just to control the thing and, rotate the head and make it move around and all that. But he has another remote that's just dedicated to sound effects. Oh. So I was thinking, next time you're like at a car show, and then when you see a kid walk up to it, at any time you want to, you can select what you want it to say, and you can actually have like a mini conversation with the kid, as long as it's like stays generic, like, "Hi, what's your name?" or something like that. I don't know. But the only thing bad about that is, I guess you don't have those sound files from the actor.
They're available. They're available. In fact, there's an app you can use, and if you connect your phone via Bluetooth to the inside stereo, you can actually select the sound effects to play. And
see what I mean? Yeah, that's sweet. Yeah. Exactly, something like that would be really
scare
cool,
the pants out of some children.
Yeah. Just because what I had in the video, I just ran a generic CD, and it just so happens that most of the time when somebody walked up, Kit would say something kind of on cue, and a lot of it actually ended up making sense. There was a guy who kind of walked up and looked inside, and then as he was walking away, Kit goes, "How demeaning."
Yeah, it's cool stuff like that. Yeah, it was
by, and Kit goes, "Get your derriere off my hood," or something like that.
Yeah,
you stink. Yeah.
I like that you put subtitles in too, because there's times where it's faint. You can't quite make it out, but you know what it's saying, so you threw it up there. So that was pretty cool too.
And when you're video in a minute, it's awesome.
And when you're driving into the car show, and everyone's like checking you out and taking pictures and stuff and filming you and stuff, and that was pretty cool as well. So I posted on Twitter and Facebook and stuff. I posted everywhere like, "Hey, check this video out, it's really cool." And so hopefully you got some views. I don't know. At least three.
If nothing else, my family really enjoyed it, and they're all sharing it with each other. So
that's cool. Yeah, that's awesome.
That's how I originally started my YouTube channel. It was just a medium to share with friends and family.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, but I'm starting to do some more videos. I think I've had the account open now for about 6 weeks on YouTube. I've got like 13 videos, just a variety of different things, stuff from the 80s, cars, games, that sort of thing, some unboxings. So I'm kind of feeling this thing out and seeing, which way I want to take this. But I'll probably keep doing one video a week for the near
That's
future.
Ambitious, man. Yeah.
Yeah. What most people have their challenges after a year or so is just trying to come up with content.
Yeah.
And then if you notice the weak asshole YouTubers out there, what they end up doing is they end up becoming eventually a React channel, which is like, oh God, another React channel. And they steal other people's content from Reddit or whatever and go, oh, funny commercials from Japan. And then they just watch them and then they react to it. And that's their content. They've given up.
Yeah. Well, you can see the people that get lazy.
That's the crazy part.
I know kids are. Look, kids.
It's so obvious to see the people that are getting lazy, where they don't want to spend any time in post production, so they're just doing the easy stuff where there's no real editing or production is really required.
Yeah, it's sad when a channel
because it's hard.
That way.
It's very difficult to put out good production value, good quality content regularly if you've got a full-time job.
Yeah,
it's either one or the other. You gotta sacrifice one or the other, and so to do both is very time consuming. That's why I post maybe a video a month. It's just it's fucking a lot of work.
Yeah, some people.
But your stuff is top notch. I mean, you put a lot of production value into it, so I see why.
Thanks. Yeah. Setting up a shit. Yeah, it's a lot of work. I mean, if you don't count the streaming stuff, because that's different. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a lot of work. And the last video I posted that I put any effort into was when we did Nat in Colorado. I remember that has the pinball scene I put in there and stuff.
I remember. Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah.
So I should do one on Grinkers or something one of these days, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the other one I did this month was the Grinkfest 7 video.
Oh yeah, I watched that as well.
Oh.
Yeah. And then when you're walking through, turning on your light, people are getting pissed off.
Yeah. I left all that in there. It's all fun.
I'll go, because it's all dark in Grinkers. And then Nick flicks on this like big spotlight on him. Hey, what are you doing?
I should show you. I should show you my setup for. I should show you my setup for tomorrow. If I can angle my camera at all. But there's like my main camera for Cheyenne. For the over the shoulder, and then nope, I can't. I don't have enough.
Here's my sex swing for my Chatterbait channel.
I was just thinking the over the shoulder boulder holder.
I've got. I'll take a picture with my phone and I'll share it here in a second. But I've got like my kitchen, because I'm in an apartment. My kitchen is just all like. It's hard to walk on one side because other than that one camera. Then I have my second camera on a tripod. Then I've got a light to illuminate me, because otherwise it's too dark. I don't like to have every light on because it's hard to see the game otherwise. But so then you have to use like barn doors and stuff so that it's just a narrow beam so that it doesn't affect the monitor. But like I've got all these fucking things on just to do a fucking stupid little live stream. It's a mess. And then I just ordered actually. Supposed to show up on Halloween a bunch of new lighting toys and gear specifically for this next scene that we're shooting for Carrie's music video. Because
I am using my iPhone for everything.
Hey, you do what you can. You have to it's you have to get creative, and the name of the game is improvising, right, Mock?
Yeah.
Yep.
So.
Do it works.
Starving artist, but yeah, I bought a few things because I don't have enough lights to or I haven't up until this point to light a big area and cover a lot of things that I don't want to give much away, but so it's the last big scene for her video, so and it is big.
When is that coming out?
Christmas.
The Tuesday before Christmas, probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although I think isn't Christmas on Tuesday? Something really odd.
On a Wednesday. On a Wednesday. Yeah.
Oh, it's a Wednesday. Oh,
a Wednesday. Yeah.
Balls. Okay.
Are we gonna? Do
so
it
that's
that
right. Because we talked about
the...
Christmas Eve, and we were like,
we
were trying to figure out like because we have Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, and if we were going to do a show on one of those,
I can't do
talk
a show
about that
on Christmas Eve. Yeah, because I'll be family stuff.
Yeah. Come on, you and your families.
We could always
fuck your families.
Fuck your families. I'm available. Why shouldn't you be available?
Yeah. You're my second family.
Here's an idea. We could always do it on a different day other than Tuesday as well.
That's true. We could do Monday.
Since it's a
the week
special...
before Christmas Eve is the 17th.
Yeah, but I would like the extra days to spend on post production for this.
Yeah, right.
video.
We might not be ready by that. It would have to be a post Christmas video because
it'll be a February release.
It's about the worst timing possible to have it and to have it Christmas, have it to the week before Christmas Eve. Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, it should be fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, Andrew just posted a really funny link to all those costumes, so check that out.
Yeah,
I need a beverage.
See the exact costume.
Oh, so everyone else got you have to answer about the Halloween costume thing. I went, Andrew went, Carrie went. Leo, did you go? You're the one that brought the question up.
I always remember this Beetlejuice costume where I had a fake Beetlejuice head that like popped up like little demons out of the head of it, and I just
that's badass.
That's so much better than a standard Beetlejuice costume with the bald cap and shit.
Yeah. It was just like I think it had like snakes or something. Just like it just pressed a little button and like it popped up. It was I loved that. That was like I was probably like 10 or 11. That was like first thing that kind of popped in my mind of doing that too. Like I loved that. I love that movie as a kid. Doesn't quite.
I wonder if they're still talking about about doing the sequel with Michael Keane. Like that kind of came and went. Like it was like I haven't been keeping tabs on it, but that was the rumor.
And you got to get Tim Burton involved if you can. I mean, that's his baby.
Mm-hmm. And if you can't get Michael Keaton, don't do it. Don't get fucking Johnny Depp or some shit.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not a reimagining. Like just make a true sequel or.
like what they're doing now with Ghostbusters.
It's funny because Michael Keaton used to be like a real silly, funny, crazy guy in his early career, and that's kind of where Beetlejuice. That was kind of like one of the last things he did that was wild and crazy and wacky.
Multiplicity was probably the last Goofy movie. I feel like
maybe. I mean, I remember like Night Shift. Do you guys remember that with Henry Winkler and
that's right.
Shelley Long.
Yeah,
right?
Shelley Long was in that. Yeah. And he used to do stand up too, if I remember right.
Oh wow, I didn't know.
Michael Keaton. Yeah, I mean he goes way far back.
I can say that.
But yeah, so I don't know if he has the energy to be Beetlejuice.
I
hope he would.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean, seeing him in Spider-Man: Homecoming, you could see like a little hint of that when he gets he gets kind of threatening and stuff.
He was really good in that movie, I thought. Yeah. Played a good asshole. I liked it.
but someone that you could that was believable. You could.
Oh,
see
you understood where he's coming from.
Yeah.
Oh, I dug it.
That's why. Yeah. So it was very good.
A villain that had a reason to be a villain for once, not just
that
I'm evil because I'm evil.
Yeah, a three-dimensional.
Yeah, that was kind of one of the problems with like Guardians of the Galaxy with that villain. Forget his name. That's how forgettable he is. I can't even remember his name, but he's just like, I'm going to kill everybody with my gem. Well,
Mr.
Villain. Roll over once you kill everybody. So,
all right, I need a beverage.
So do
Dave, what was your costume? I assume it was a Bud Light night.
Bud Light can.
I was trying to think. That was a really good question. I don't have my most memorable. Because I don't remember a lot of the childhood ones. Was like 6th or 7th grade that my friend's family owned some cleaning business and they had nice overalls. We made Ghostbuster costumes with packs, or I didn't make them. They were made by someone else for like I think an adult party, and then we walked around and we had sunglasses. They were awesome, and this was like circa 85, So they were impressive. I'd like to see one. I got to find that photo somewhere because that was a great costume, but it also made me think of my dad is one of 6. And all the brothers have some kind of artistic or mechanical talent. But my Uncle Rich is like amazing. Like you look at like an old video or an old picture where he made a Santa Claus out of snow and went out with water with red dye. And you look at this thing and you're like, oh my God, are you serious? And my mother said he made that in about 10 minutes. Like a full Santa carved out of snow with water. He's amazing, the stuff he would do. But back in the early 80s, when I think I had a paper route, it was like 84, and I had a bike with a basket, and he carved out of foam an ET head and put it in my bike. I had the BMX. And
that's
amazing.
rad.
Like nobody, like this is, something like this is like something they make in a prop house, but he was made it like a sponge.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really
cool. He made my. I don't know. I knew what it is. Anybody here a Cub Scout?
I was.
Yep.
I was not.
Did they have a thing? The Pinewood Derby. I was a Cub Scout drop.
Yeah. I still have.
Yeah.
Do you have a brownie?
I still have.
No, actually, I wasn't. I was a Girl Scout for a year and I hated it. So.
Yeah, I was only a Cub Scout for a year.
Me too.
I still have 2 of my Pinewood Derbies in a box. I could totally pull them out right now.
But I won
my God.
best design because Uncle Rich made the car. It was like the most unbelievable thing. And he carved a little head out of wood and made a windshield, out of like, it was like the most amazing, and had a fin on the back. It was so streamlined. It was like, this thing was amazing. And then I remember when his son, my cousin is like 8 years younger, I think, than myself. So when he was in the Cub Scouts, I was in like high school, and I went, now that his son's a Cub Scout, holy Christ, he made an Indy 500 whole thing out of cardboard. Like he's announcing the race for the Pinewood Derby. He had a mic system wired up. It was the most like, holy Christ. It was beyond, and his son still won best design all the years that he didn't win because the ones that were like blocks with a ton of weight, won, but the car was amazing. In fact, I should that might be in the other room over there. I might have to go get that out.
But I'd like to see it. Mine are not that exciting, but I have.
I don't have any picture of it. I bet you my parents have.
Are you talking about your pine derby thing?
Pinewood derbies, yeah.
I got it. Yeah.
Well, so my dad was the pack leader, so
I was pack 556. Where were you?
Fuck, man. I still have my shirt. Like
I remember mine.
No. So the reason is because my mom is going through like her, downsizing age thing. So she literally get rid of shit. And so she showed up with a box full of crap. I mean, it's just crap. I mean, it's just
memories.
It's like report cards from elementary school.
Aww.
And like
away, but you don't know.
Oh, you got to share that stuff. I'm thinking prize.
I 100% am fucking shredding and burning all that.
No.
It's your legacy.
Nope, it's going.
It is. Right, your baby teeth.
I want to know what you got.
Does she hang on to your baby teeth?
No. I'm gonna keep. I don't know if I have any teeth in there, but I have some stuff I'm holding on to. But like the Pinewood Derby cars, for example, right? That's in the bin. I'm gonna hold on to those. But
I got my foreskin.
Yeah. Nope, they threw that out.
Mom, where's my foreskin? It's mine.
Oh my God, that is funny.
I had a wisdom tooth removed this week. I still have that. I'll show it to you.
Oh, there you go.
Soak it in water and reattach it.
Oh shit! That's
your umbilical stump.
No, it's funny.
It's my umbilical stump.
You know my friend Tall Donnie, who's at Grinkers.
I love Donnie.
All right. I don't know. I'm gonna share it online. He had 3 wisdom teeth removed. He's probably about to text me. Don't you dare! Yep. So he's like, dude, I'm dying. Like he was. I gotta look for the text, see what the picture, and I'll share.
Give me the Vicodin.
Oh no, but his face, it doesn't even look like him.
Just chipmunked.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God, it's crazy, Donnie. I'm sorry, buddy, if you're listening, but I'm gonna do it.
You got to do it before he tells you not to. Otherwise,
I gotta find
better ask for forgiveness than permission.
Oh, yeah, because I was like, dude,
I'll get the sound effect.
He goes, dude,
I'm ready with the sounds. Yeah.
Hold on, I need to go
all
back
queued
one
up.
more. Oh my God. Okay, hold on a minute.
But you got to present Dave, because I don't want to take over if I play a soundbite.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right. Here. Let's see if it's here. Hold on. Phones. All photos. I'm so wait. Whoa, Jesus.
Exciting.
This is what month is this? I'm going backwards.
It's October.
It's still
very end of it.
I'm going opposite. Okay, here we go. June. Why is this like this?
Dude,
okay.
When was this picture taken, Dave? I thought it was.
Oh, this was taken. Well, I don't know, like last week. Oh, Donnie, I'm sorry. I can't believe I'm going to do this. Wait.
We can't see it anyway.
Wait. Let me do this.
He looks like Mr. Potato Head.
No. Oh no.
It's Brad.
Hold it up close and hold it there for a minute.
Like really close. Yeah.
Really close and hold it still.
Hold it really close. Like someone I know.
There's no facial definition.
Wait.
There we go. It's getting there. Oh, no, it doesn't look like him at all. Oh, poor guy. He's so puffy.
So that was me last week.
Oh, that looks so painful.
That doesn't even look like him, right?
No, it doesn't. Like the top half of him does. Like the eyeballs up.
Looks like him. He's put on like 80 pounds and like had a bad drug.
Yeah.
It looks like he's starring in some movie where he had gained like 100 pounds.
Yeah.
He's wearing a fat suit.
A bad
poor guy.
Nutty professor.
Yeah, he's like, dude, I'm dying. He had 3 removed. I'm like, man up. And then he sends me that picture.
Fuck, were they impacted or something? Like,
I forgot what he said. I think he said it was affecting. When was it? That was October 23rd. So that was
last week.
Yeah, but he was dying. I was talking to him when he was like, the day he was on drugs, and the next day he goes, I'm so in pain. I'm like,
yeah. So I had 1 removed. It was last Tuesday, exactly. And I wanted to come on the show last week, but my face is like this big, so I was like, I better not.
Was it?
You would have taken up 2 slots.
Yeah. Right. We had so many technical issues last week.
It's amazing we went on at all.
I know, that was really a teamwork.
All I need to do is threaten to start streaming via OBS, and it'll work suddenly.
Yeah.
You know, I remember I still have 2 wisdom teeth. I've had 2 other ones taken out. You know, one was like falling apart, and I had it taken out. And I'm like, literally, you know, you still have a socket with blood in there and everything. But that day,
you can't smoke.
I know I was smoking. I remember because I was like 20
dry socket.
He only smoked terrified.
No, I was smoking, drinking, and I'm at a bar and I had this blood, and somebody's like, "Oh, Donnie just texted me. What the fuck, Dave? Ha ha ha."
You're just spitting out blood into like a cocktail.
No, but I remember someone's like, "Dude, your breath is the worst I've ever smelled." Like dried.
Did Damien tell you that?
Oh God, I didn't get that close. Oh God, yeah, but I remember somebody's like, "Dude, your breath is the worst." I go, "Yeah, because I've been
your breath smells like ass."
Dried.
Your breath smells like you didn't wash your dick.
Yeah.
I didn't understand what Mark was saying either. Don't wash your dick in the bathroom. Like, are we supposed to do that?
Don't you?
Yeah,
right. Wait, I always thought you guys always did that.
That'd be something to find out. Like, wait, you wash your
Dave, you shorted last year, right?
Yeah.
Oh no.
No, it was funny. I think my wife was teaching my son like how to, but she's a female, and he was like, when he was little, he's using toilet paper and drying off his dick. I go, no, you shake, and like she's like, no, you gotta. I go, no guys do that. Well, unless you guys do, maybe Jim does, but
he's like, yeah, you have to like go to the toilet and like wrap your hand in toilet paper and then go to the urinal and piss and then wipe it off.
They try to shake someone's hand that way. I'm going to remember that for next year at Grinkers, the people on my list. Just wrap my hand in a paper towel. How's it going? Don't take offense, but yeah, that's yeah.
Why do you think I wear gloves?
Oh,
you should call them out, put a sign right in the bathroom. We know who you are.
Wash your fucking hands.
Just have a list.
Yeah, so we need a sign on the door.
And if you're not outed yet, could you just sign your name on this? Yeah, no shit.
You're so funny that I'm like, I couldn't stop laughing.
I'm wondering how many dicks I touched.
I don't want to know.
Besides mine.
Hey guys, I'm calling it a night. Talk to y'all next week.
Later, Leo.
All right.
Leo.
Leo.
Later.
See you, buddy.
Hey, do any of you guys use online, or not online, but like a electric scoreboard in your arcades?
No, we used to.
Whiteboard.
We used to have that score system.
Oh, yeah.
That was really awesome until somebody pulled it offline.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after we lost that scoring system, I went to another system. I'm going to post it in the chat. And it was my son's birthday last weekend.
That was a good sigh.
No, I just like the URL iscored.info.
Scored, yeah.
I scored.
Or scored. That's funny.
Anyhow, it was my son's birthday last weekend, and he had some friends over, and we decided to do a tournament. So that was pretty cool. I was able to enter all their names in on my iPad, and in real time, we could just refresh my other screen, and they could see their scores on the wall, sort of like Grinkers.
Yeah, cool.
So I was walking around with an iPad, recording all their crappy scores, and
that's great.
They're running to the TV to see where they stand, and we picked 6 games, and so I shot video on it. So I'll launch a video this weekend. You guys can see it. But the iScored system works pretty good.
Oh, that's cute.
Is it permanent? Like, does it keep those scores forever?
Yeah.
Will it actually stay there, or will someone decide to rip it down when they have a little hissy fit?
Yeah.
No, I think I had to pay $20 or something for this, but it was well worth it.
Yeah, that's nothing.
That's cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's something we could all share, not because we all want to like not spend the $20, but like actually be able to share our scores between us.
Yeah, so you would have to set up your one arcade, and then we would have to. You guys have a Slack chat or something. Yeah. You'd have to post the scores, and someone would have to put it up.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Whoever the admin is.
Right.
Steve Art.
Kind of cool. Kind of a cool idea.
Yeah.
Oh, you like Coke? I love Coke.
Mm-hmm.
I looked at a Coca-Cola I like the Mexican Coke in the bottles. Well, I like it all. That's why my teeth are rotting. But I looked at
pretty soon, man. Chipmunks.
I know. I already got 2 wisdom teeth out. You only brush the ones you want to keep.
Yeah.
All of them?
Right. Exactly.
Well, it's funny. I looked at a cooler today, and we get there. You know, it's I don't know if you guys seen it. It's a silver. It's like about 2 feet high. Here, the one store has all the Mexican Cokes because you put them on the bottom and the top. It's very small. It's like a countertop type thing. And I went and I looked at one off of Craigslist. I looked at last week, and I went today to pick it up. And the guy we plugged in, and it wasn't getting cold. Oh, and I'm like, I was only there for 10 minutes, and I'm like, well, I got to go. I go leave it plugged in, and I was only getting $75. Came out of a bar that somebody's selling. This guy works there, so he must have just said take it. But and then he's like, I'm like, all right, I'll throw a Hail Mary. I go give you 20 if you want it gone. I'll take a chance on the parts. He's like, well, no, it just needs refrigerant. I'm like, oh God, don't go to the auto store and get. This is like I looked online. It's got some environmental friendly refrigerant. It's newer. You know,
it's just a fuse.
It might be a fuse actually.
It needs a cap kit.
But I did text him and I said, I go, hey, check. I don't know where the thermostat is. It's either in the back or maybe the thermostat is turned down or is turned up so high that it wasn't kicking on for the little bit we had it out. You know what I mean? It might be, it's like the warm setting, probably because if somebody may just wants to display something and they don't want to even use energy. I don't know. But I want it because I live for sugary drinks.
Yeah, so I bought a Red Bull fridge, the ones that they used to have on the countertops everywhere. And I just got that rebranded to Coke, so it works great.
No, that's the same size. I mean, this guy only wanted $75 for this thing. And it was funny because he didn't have the key for it, so it's got like a lock, an arcade lock, and it was down and it was locked. So all he did was he just took off the plate on the bottom, and the thing was still down. But I called the company that makes it. It's in California. They're sending me free keys now that I won't even buy the thing. Yeah, and I was just trying to because I'm like, oh yeah, we'll just send it to you. That's fine. But I don't know if this guy's going to go to freaking AutoZone and start trying to find a place to pump that.
I love our IRC.
Freon.
Yeah, yes. And he's like, oh, it just needs a $25 can of. I'm like, no, it doesn't. It's not the same shit. It's for a car.
Penis.
Then there's that.
I don't know. I always like this stuff.
I don't know. Wasn't really warranted for your topic, but
hey, did you remember that Mr. Bungle?
Yes.
Yeah, because that was from the Pee-wee's HBO special. They threw that 60s.
Oh yeah,
it was in his prime then.
It was like a propaganda thing where you gotta comb your hair, and Mr. Bungle doesn't comb his hair
because he was talking about wash his hands, and that's how it starts. The guy runs, wash your hands, and when he comes out of the bathroom,
Mr. Bungles doesn't wash his hands. Yeah, that was crazy.
And all the guys they got combs, and they all have like buzz cuts. Comb their hair.
Do you guys remember that? What's it called? The Far Side, the cartoon, Gary Larson.
Oh yeah,
right. He had a cartoon that was some dude like in a restaurant, and he was walking out of the restroom, and they're all still one single frames. And above the door, there was a sign that was lit up that said "Didn't wash hands." It was like warning everybody else that this fucker.
So everybody knows.
Goddamn hands.
Do you guys remember Sniglets? That was not necessarily the news.
I think that's racist.
God, that's so old, Dave. I haven't heard that in forever. Yeah, oh my God.
No, I remember just talking about bathrooms. It made me. There was one called Genderplex. It was like it's like turtles and tortoises. The guy's out front of the bathroom. He doesn't know which one he's supposed to use. When you're like at theme restaurants and it doesn't have men or women, and you're like so confused. Right. Remember Sniglets? That's where that came from. It was
a word that means something that's not in the regular dictionary, right?
Yeah, and it's like they made up words too. Like fleen was the black crusty stuff on a ketchup bottle.
See, I remember one of them. It was called Optigoop. And that's what the stuff that's in your eye when you wake up in the morning.
Oh yeah, no, eye boogers was Brattles. Where were your next? They had a guy like in his car, and there's a bus little kids just all making fun of him, whatever. And it's called Brattled, and the
Brattled
guy's looking up, because you're next to a bus little kids. And a benectomy was the removal of bruises on a banana.
Oh, they were. You remember that shit?
Oh, because I loved it. It was on not necessarily the news. Rich Hall.
Not necessarily no. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, Rich Hall.
It was HBO is experimenting with creating their own content, and that was like one of their first programs, and it was a comedy show, and it was a fake newscast, and
that's 4 books put out, and I had all 4, and I lent them to someone. I got 3 back.
Wow, that takes
always
me
pissed
back.
about that one.
Yeah.
That'd be so damn funny to have like a big siren or an alarm that goes off when someone doesn't watch it. Right?
Yeah, no, so Gleek
you
just
can trip it by your
actual,
phone.
The Far Side.
Yeah,
I was just talking about.
It's like a big marquee.
Yeah, it's like a giant thing. It's like with like
Andrew,
chaser lights.
Have you ever seen the Far Side animated movie that wasn't like really officially released?
No.
Okay, let me see. It's on YouTube. I'll find a link for it.
Good segue, Ma, because I thought we should talk about scary movies at some point.
Ooh, we should.
Prior to how
I go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
I want to go to the bathroom. Saw series is crazy.
Wash that dick.
I'm not going to wash my hands.
Oh, do you use your feet? The suspense is killing me.
Looking.
What are you looking for?
The Far Side special.
The special
on YouTube. Yeah. It used to be 2 parts on YouTube. It looks like it might have gotten yanked. I always hate that.
Fuck.
Oh wait, no, that's not it. Somebody did post the 45-minute version, but let me see if this is it.
Yeah, speaking of stuff getting yanked, it was funny. I was after all that stuff about Facts of Life and stuff. I watched. I was thinking about that show, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot. Like one of my favorite episodes of Facts of Life was the one where it was I can't remember exactly. Oh, it was like 2D. They all go see some like slasher movie, and it scares Tootie, and to the point that she has like a nightmare that like everyone's getting killed, and it's really hokey and funny. But I couldn't. I like YouTube has people have uploaded tons of full episodes of Facts of Life, but naturally that episode wasn't up there.
Of course.
Yeah.
And then we get the brand new Facts of Life special
movie.
Coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what they look like now. Didn't the actress that plays Blair, didn't she get all super religious or something?
Oh yeah, she's super religious. She doesn't even own a television in their home. Like Jesus. That kind of like, yeah, she wouldn't let her kids watch TV, even though everything around them was all purchased by her being on TV.
Yeah.
Oh, drink deep the irony. Jesus Christ.
What's that?
Oh, just drink deep the irony of that. That's just ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. She got super duper religious. Okay, Andrew. So
like Kirk Cameron.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, Kirk Cameron's another kook. Okay.
Oh yeah, he totally went religious. He did making videos of fucking religious.
So an IRC,
went way off though.
On IRC, I posted a link to one of them. There's actually it's a 2-part special.
Yep.
It's called Tales from the Dark Side 1, and there's Tales from the Dark Side 2.
I love that.
And
I totally remember those.
And they're animated versions, but they look.
Oh yeah.
So it's actually kind of cool to watch a once through, and some of it's funny, some of it's kind of like, but that's kind of like the comic, you know. I mean, they weren't all, you know, awesome, but it's an interesting watch to see.
Some of them were just like plain weird.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah, that's kind of what it was. That's kind of the charm of it.
Yeah.
So anyway, check out that animated.
Exactly.
The second one I thought was better because it was made later. I think it was made like a year later or so. But it's I think it's better animated and it's longer too. I think it's 45 minutes for the second one.
Yeah, animated, not a horror movie. That's right.
No, not a horror movie. No, it's weird enough to be a horror movie though. There's some really weird shit in there. So
awesome. Thank you so much, dude. That's cool.
Yeah, so check that out.
So last night I finally got a chance to watch the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark movie that came out like a few months ago. That's based on the kids' books, the Scary Stories books. I don't know if you guys knew about that.
Mm-mm.
Did you guys ever read the books? Maybe that was generation before you or after you.
Yep.
When we grew up, there were 2 series of books I owned. The popular one was Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, which is like a bunch of short stories and with like crazy good, like creepy artwork.
Yeah, Mean Green just said the pictures in those books gave me nightmares as a kid.
Oh, dude, yeah. And then, and a lot of time, some kids, before even reading them, you're just paging through. You just want to look at the pictures. And then I also had a series of books. I don't know how many there were, but it was called "The Scariest Stories Ever Told," and those were good too. But anyways, digressing. So they made a movie based on the first, at least, I don't know if it was all, there are three that I know of. There are three books, scary stories to tell in the dark. There were at least three books, and I don't know if the movie combined or pulled stuff from all of them, because there's like, I want to say like five. It's an anthology movie that has kind of a narrative. But it was a lot of fun. It's a PG-13 movie, so it's not super gory, but it's definitely creepy. I thought they did a really good job, and it got really good reviews. I was surprised for a movie like that it got like almost 80% on Rotten Tomatoes. But it was fun. It was a fun movie. I watched it last night, and enjoyed it quite thoroughly. And that just came out a few months ago.
I watched Suspiria, the original.
Probably the only one here
that did. Yeah. Besides you, had seen it already.
Yeah.
Wow, what a completely different movie that was. I thought they didn't even show dancing in it.
No, did we watch that co-ed thing, or did I watch that by myself?
No,
I thought we watched
it in Hawaii. We watched both.
Yeah.
Right, like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you guys watched the original. Yeah. But I watched, the remake, the one that's with Tilda Swinton, that's on Netflix or whatever. Yeah. But I watched the actual original one, and characters are swapped around. Some aren't there, some are. There's no man.
It's a co-ed.
Yeah, co-ed thing. The ending's different, a lot different. It's a whole different movie. It's just kind of same set pieces. Yeah, like it's set in a dance studio, but there are witches in it.
And like I said,
spoiler alert.
I really loved Tilda Swinton's like summary of it.
I like that version. I like them both. They're as their own,
but they're different.
They're both different, but they're both good. I thought. I really like the colors in the. Is it 1977? It came out. It's really old.
Sounds right. 70s for sure.
Yeah, Suspiria. It's a cult classic. A lot of people have heard of it. I don't know if this group has, but.
Italian, right? Is the original?
The Italian one, yeah. Mine was dubbed, the one I watched. No,
actually, so you watched that off of my server?
Oh yeah, that's where I watched it.
So you can actually, my server, I usually, whenever I get dubbed stuff, I always rip the different audio tracks.
Oh, cool.
So you could have changed it to the original with subtitles if you wanted to go there.
Oh, okay. I had the subtitles on as well. So,
but just note that for like a bunch of like the animation and stuff like that, like anime stuff, I always rip the original Japanese.
Yeah.
And if it's available on my copy.
There's a scene in that movie where I was actually been to one of the places. So you know the part where the blind guy goes off with his dog and he's been kicked out and he's kind of like cruising along and he ends up at this beer bar that's people are dancing on the tables going da, 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 da. I've been to that place. It's in Germany. Yeah, it's a famous beer garden place, and
that's funny.
And he walks out front of it. I'm like, oh my god, that is the building. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I've been there. That was kind of cool.
I would call the original 70s version more of an art piece.
Yeah, it's a little more.
It's like an art film kind of approach to a horror. I mean, it has like horrific images, but like it's really more of an art film.
Yeah, there's this really cool scene, Carrie, that was kind of cool. Where, remember the scene in the remake, where the girl gets twisted up or whatever?
Oh yeah, during her dance, the dance.
I don't know if it's the same character, but there's a scene where the girl's like trying to escape, and she's running out these doors, and she's trying to leap to another, I think it's a window or something that she's trying to leap to, but she doesn't make it. And she lands in a room just filled super high up with barbed wire.
Oh, wow.
Man. And she's just like trying to swim in it. getting all cut up, and I'm like, oh no.
And I have to say, when you said that name, I got it confused with whatever movie you and I watched part 1 and 2, and it was really cheesy.
Oh, Phantasm. You're thinking.
Phantasm. There we go. That's
yeah.
So sorry.
Which version though? Because there's like a lot of different ones. 1, 2, 3.
Oh wait, but we only watched the first. Did we watch 2?
Yeah, we watched 2.
We watched 2. Okay.
I think
because there's like 5 of them. Yeah. Me and Nick were talking about the Saw movies in the IRC, and like the first one's always going to be my favorite because like
that's my favorite.
It got molded into just a gore fest, like a gut wrencher, like I don't want to say like
it was less nightmare-y. I thought that's what I liked about the first one. It felt like you're in a nightmare and you can't get out.
Yeah, it was fun. It was like but I ended up I had to see the next one for a long time, like because they kept coming out every year, and it'd be like 2 things. It'd be like, I want to see this because I want to see how the fuck can they tie this one into the other movies, and then what's the twist gonna be, and trying to guess that throughout the whole movie, like what the fuck cockstar.
Oh, that's weird. What happened?
Jesus Christ.
What the hell did somebody do to our chat?
Anyways,
he's done.
Yeah, kick that guy out.
He's gone.
Did you? I have seen all the Phantasms except for the newest one, which he had a tough time funding it, and that's why like it's like years actually. So it's like people look different in age in certain scenes, you know. But anyway, that's the one with like these giant, the ball that chases you around.
Oh, the
balls are like giant, and they're cutting buildings in half with a laser.
Oh yeah, I saw a review of that where it's like stock footage almost, and they just like composited them.
Yeah. I haven't seen that movie yet, but I forget what it's called. But that's the only one I haven't seen. So
I think maybe once I saw the third and the fourth one because there's like 5 of them. But yeah, those are interesting movies. Yeah, I'm trying to think.
We should go around the room and say what our favorite horror movie is.
Ooh, just pick one is difficult.
It depends.
Just say what's one of your favorite. What are you ready to watch again soon? That you've seen. Is that too hard of a question?
Kind of depends on the mood, right? Because like there's like funny horror, and then there's like kind of creepy horror, and then there's like proper creepy, like scary
terror. Or are you talking horror? Or are you talking
slasher?
There's a movie out there that it's not good, not that great, but I still like watching it. Is Life Force.
Dude, I've got the director's cut.
I know. I noticed you had both. I was like, Andrew's got both. One of them, and I noticed they're different lengths.
Yep.
So the longer one was what Europe got, and the other one is what we got. And I thought it'd be more nude girl walking around, but no, it's mostly just like them coming in with the shuttle at the beginning. There's a lot of that. So I found it interesting. The effects were really good, and they should have had all that in, I think.
It's kind of a 2001 kind of feel. Like there's it's kind of an arty kind of film, creepy. You got the scary lady robot alien monster thing.
It's supposed to be Dracula from space. Have you seen the movie, Jim? Have you seen Life Force?
So. No.
Oh, that's the one. That's great. Great practical effects in that one because they have full dummies going.
Oh, nice.
I love the practical effects in it.
That reminds me. I was watching. Oh, my absolute favorite horror documentary of all time is I've talked about this on the show. Never Sleep Again, about the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a 4-hour documentary where they go over every movie, and they've got so many cast and crew.
Oh, I just purchased that documentary.
It's so worth owning. And
I just bought it.
And then there's not only
I wonder if that's in the box set. It's called
in the Something of Darkness or something. It's called, right?
Never Sleep Again: The Elm Street Legacy or something like that.
Oh, not that. I was talking about the documentary on the horror movies that's coming out.
Oh, so
In Search of Darkness, I think it's called.
Okay.
The 4-hour documentary.
So Never Sleep Again, I've probably seen it a dozen times.
Yeah, no, that's good.
On top of it, there's a commentary by the people that made it, which is equally interesting. because they almost lost all their footage in a fire. And then there's over an hour and a half of extended interviews from the documentary that are just as interesting. Like, it is ridiculously good. I can't remember where I was going with it. Oh, so Wes Craven. He's talking about some of his movies he had made up until that point, that in one of his interviews. And I'd never seen a movie that he put out in like 91 called The People That Live Under the Stairs.
I've heard of that. I've never seen it.
Yeah. And so me and Carrie are going to watch that, I think, this weekend. I'm looking forward to that. Speaking of this weekend, the next Terminator movie comes
So
out.
Never Sleep Again. So I've got this. This is so I picked up this Blu-ray box set, which has
cheap,
all the movies,
which is
super cheap.
So it's like $20 for all Blu-ray. Yeah, I have the same
movies. One. Yeah, so this one has Never Sleep Again, but I don't think I actually ripped the documentary off of it.
It's so fucking
awesome. I'll set this aside.
I've watched it like a dozen times, even though I know like it's just so well done. Hang on a second.
Yeah, it's all 7 films. And again, it was super cheap on Amazon. It was like you said, like $20 for all the movies and then Blu-ray. So yeah, I'll definitely set that one aside. Jim's not even here to hear me.
All right.
That,
so
I'll
my other two, so I've got that same exact set that you've got, but then I got my original Nightmare on Elm Street box set that actually came with where is it? There. The original 3D glasses.
Nice.
For Nightmare on Elm Street Part 6. So there's 2 pairs in there. Because you got to have that. But this was like one of my favorite box sets.
I saw that in the theater and I had my 3D glasses.
Oh, did you? And you didn't know you probably didn't know when to pull them out. They're like,
no, they tell it. No, they did. When you buy
Maggie puts on her glasses.
When you buy your ticket, the people that work there were told to tell everybody, don't put the glasses on until the movie tells you to. So we knew ahead of time not to be wearing them throughout the movie, because in the movie she puts on these glasses and then
you'll need these in the 3D world.
Yeah, it didn't make any sense. She puts them on and they disappear on her face, but the 3D wasn't even very good. It's that red and blue 3D.
Nice.
Yeah.
It wasn't the 3D that we have. That's the polarized ones,
No, it was old school. But I will say this, on a CRT television, like, so before I had like any of my LCD TVs, I had like it was a 32-inch or whatever big CRT, and the 3D actually holds up pretty well, but it doesn't translate well on the newer technology. So even if you wear these glasses and you watch it, because I tried showing Carrie and it didn't look as nearly as good.
What I had to do is you adjust your colors so it matches better to the tint of the glasses. So you get a little bit better.
Punch out the blues and the reds.
Yeah, and then you see what works.
Okay.
I remember a long time ago.
I thought it had something to do with the interlacing, but maybe not. Yeah.
When Elvira was pretty big when I was young, they did a 3D weekend where you could go to your local 7-Eleven store and purchase your 3D glasses for this big 3D event thing. And Elvira was hosting it, and she had guest stars on it, and they would do things. They were in 3D as well, besides the movies that they were showing. But they were showing these old black and white movies that had I guess they were in black and white if they had the blue and red, but they were movies that would play, classic shitty horror movies. But that was pretty cool that she got to do a big event like that. I know a lot of people probably don't remember that, but that was fun. But anyway,
everyone's talking about Creep Show in the chat. Well,
the old movie.
1 and 2, and then Ford brings up
3 was god awful though.
I did
stay away from 3. It's so bad. Have you seen it, Andrew?
I have never seen the third one.
It's just so low budget.
I remember it was like a rumor was that crowdfunded or something? That was an independent kind of.
So bad. Yeah, it must have been, because it's just horrid.
When did it come out?
The crowd groaned in unison. Oh,
what, for 3?
Yeah, when did the third one come out?
By 90s sometime, I would guess, right?
Crowdfunding in the 90s?
Well, I don't know if that was. I'm just throwing because I remember seeing websites where they talked about it, but like I don't remember.
Look up the date. It was bad though. I mean, it wasn't just. It wasn't the the animated parts were all done in Flash, so it looks like really shitty.
Okay, so
extra shitty.
At least 90s.
Yeah, I would say it's probably late 90s or probably 2000s. I would guess.
Yeah,
but the animation's horrible. The stories are they're just not even very good. That's the problem. The writing was just bad, and the characters are bad, and it's just bad.
Just go watch Tales from the Dark Side.
You know what? If you want to get a gist of it without having to watch the whole damn thing, watch like a review of it on YouTube, and you can see like a lot of clips from it, and you'll get a gist of what it was, and go, "Oh wow, I'm glad." I didn't.
But is it like bad funny though? I mean,
no, I wish.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't bad funny. It was just bad.
Sorry, Skeleton Dick.
But he loved it. He loved it.
He said he liked it. He said Show 3 was fun.
Yeah,
well, there's fun.
Okay, I'll give you an example of a story. So like there's this scientist who invites some co-workers over to his house for dinner or something. And he leaves for a moment, and they see he's got a super beautiful hot wife. And they're like, there's no way he could have landed a hot girl like this. She's got to be the new robot he said he was thinking about working on. So then they kill the girl thinking she's a robot, and they start cutting her body up in little pieces, going, look at how realistic this looks. This looks amazing. And blood's shooting everywhere. It's all over the room. It's just really, it's gross actually. And they play with their brain, and it's just all this stuff. And then they start to realize, wait, I think she was real. So then they gotta hide her. So they hide her in the refrigerator or some shit. And it's just that's kind of the story it would have, something stupid like that.
All right.
Overly gory and really bad.
He says, yeah, that was terrible and expected.
Sorry, Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so on the question about favorite horror movies, I'm going to throw out two. One more recent, although still old, Halloween, because we're right on the verge of Halloween. Like, I fucking loved Halloween. That was the first kind of scary, kind of flashy movie that I really enjoyed, and it set the stage for other ones that I was disappointed by. Because I'm like, that was so good. And Jamie Lee Curtis, she was awesome.
Yeah, everybody says the first one's the best out of all of them. So
yeah, and I enjoyed many of them, but the first one definitely, like, I love the first one. And I think it partly because it just, I was so surprised by how much I enjoyed it. Like, I really enjoyed it. So Halloween, and then for just the creepy factor, The Omen was really good. I mean, there's a handful of those movies from that era.
That's pretty good.
But Damien, and I like that movie so much, I wanted a Rottweiler. Let me put it that way. I was like, I saw the Rotties in there, and I'm like, oh my God, they're so cute. What are those? I want one of those dogs. So that
beautiful dogs, yeah.
Right? Aren't they? They're gorgeous. And but I also kind of laughed at myself because it's like, they're supposed to be scary, and they're supposed to be, and I'm like, oh my God, they're adorable. Look at them. So yeah, so it actually started me really liking Rottweilers.
How about did you like The Exorcist?
I did like The Exorcist, but not as much.
Okay. Yeah.
Was it Exorcist 3? I think Exorcist 3 was the one that I liked the most of that series.
Is that the last one when he's a grown-up? Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
It's Mr. Grant from Jurassic Park.
Oh, you said Mr. Grant.
Actor?
I was thinking Mary Tyler Moore. Oh, Mr. Grant.
Oh, Mr. Grant.
I just remember like that
Lou Asner, right?
Yeah. Lou.
Yeah, Dells also brings up The Ring, which I want to get to in a second.
That's
Crazy.
a good movie.
I
like The Ring.
But the problem is that like people that I remember after it left theaters and talking to people who hadn't seen it, and so they'd watch it on their TV at home, and they're like, "Oh, I don't know, it was so scary." I'm like, "Well, you didn't fucking see it in a theater."
Right. Well, so
that movie, it was more creepy to me than scary. I was more creeped out by The Ring.
Yeah,
it was creepy.
Well, what's the difference between creepy and scary, though?
Did you see the Japanese version?
Yes, that was creepy too.
Ringu.
I think that was a little scarier.
I like the Japanese version for sure better than the English version.
Yeah.
It was. There were some things that I liked in the American version. Like it was kind of like the scales.
They're very close. They're very, very similar movies.
There were things
this might be a little bit off topic, but has anyone seen the new Joker movie?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I've seen it.
I'm waiting to, but yeah, I haven't seen it.
It's worth seeing. I liked it.
I want to see it.
Sam Raimi is remaking The Grudge. Really?
Oh, The Grudge. Jeez, that's another good one.
No, he already did.
Well, that was like a big. I won't say a fad, but that was like a big style in the early 2000s. Was doing Americanizing Japanese.
Yeah. The Eye was another one. Actually, I don't know if they ever remade The Eye, but The Eye was a great one about the.
But going back to your thing about the Japanese version of The Ring, one of the big differences that I thought the Japanese version did better was the investigation stuff about like figuring out where I liked how they actually drain out the well. Like they took buckets and they drained out the well
a little bit. Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, actually,
and that was creepy as hell.
The well scene actually was the one part of the Japanese version that I like way better because it's the hair. It's the way her hands start with just pulling up the hair, and it's like hair in the water is already like kind of creepy.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
But it's like the way that she comes up and her reaction is just so much better than Japanese. They do it okay in the English version. It's not bad, but the Japanese one, that one actually sends chills down my spine.
Yeah, and even though the effects were cruder in the Japanese version, like with the TV and stuff, I thought that it seemed more claustrophobic almost. It seemed like I remember the camera angle was much. The room was smaller, like where she comes out of the TV and stuff. Everything was smaller, and for some reason that was a little more. Maybe because it was a little more practically done. There wasn't. It was a little, but there are a lot of other. I got a lot more other chills the American version. So like it's hard to balance or to weigh them. You know, some things I thought were more effective.
Yeah,
with one or the other.
Yeah, they're both great movies in their own right.
Yeah,
and it's really, I mean, if you liked either one of them, you should definitely watch the other.
See the other one, yeah, and that's what happened to me. I saw it in I saw the American version. I'm like, oh, I didn't know this was based on. Okay, now I got to check this out. Same with Grudge.
And I had a friend who was super into Hong Kong films, and he is the one who showed me the Japanese version, and that was a year or two before the American one came out. So I'd already seen it a couple times before that. So I went and saw the American version. I was like, it's
yeah.
And
I think the majority of people had there was a lot of movies. Like, did you guys know that Japanese style, they actually made, I don't know how many years ago this was, it wasn't that long ago, it seems, but I found out that they made basically a Ring versus Grudge movie in Japan. Yeah. Speaking of monster
movies, course they did. They had to do like Mothman versus,
and they were trying to keep, like, from what I've read, they're keeping like the rules and bound, I haven't seen it, but that's what I've read.
Well, we did our Freddy versus Jason, which I was surprised that even that ever.
That was in the works for like 15 years. Yeah.
I know, God, forever. And
that was the first. No, that was the second movie I saw by myself in the theater.
It's amazing that even happened. But I thought that was a fun romp with Freddy.
I enjoyed it. I wish they would have been able to do the original ending that they had there, that they had written in the script, which was Freddy and Jason end up in hell, and then they're like going at, like, fighting each other in hell, and their arms, they had storyboards in that documentary for this, and their arms get hooks in them and chains, and they get drawn back, and then Pinhead like shows up. He says, he says, "Gentlemen, what's the problem here?"
Oh, that would have been awesome.
Wouldn't that been? But they couldn't get the rights for the Pinhead character. Like, how awesome would it have been if they got Doug Bradley or whatever to play Pinhead and come in and just do that, pay him a ton of money just to come in for that. It would have been so fucking awesome.
They had troubles getting the rights to it. I remember hearing about that. Getting the rights to Pinhead. I just recently watched Hellraiser 1, 2, and 3 too. That's funny.
I actually one has its merits for sure, but I actually, what is it? Is it 2 is bizarre? I think 3 I like. 3 is the one where the Pinhead character gets he gets separated from himself, like the evil side of him.
Yeah.
Is that where you see his past when he's like in the war and stuff like
that?
Yep. And that's got the craziest scene where he goes to like this big like punk, not like punk. It's like death metal
it's like a bar
or something.
Club.
Yeah. And he goes in and just
bar.
like locks the doors and just like kills everyone. It's this huge fucking scene where he just like massacres everyone.
He turns like her drink into like a glass shard that goes through her head, stuff like that.
Yeah, that was his like origin story, right? Like where you actually see the bit where he gets the nails like stuck.
I like it more. I like it more that in the first movie where the box was more about people seeking a weird pleasure sort of a thing to bring the demons, and like it was that was because they even say angels to others, demons to some, angels to others, or
that was the whole Clive Barker thing, like touching on sort of the S&M stuff of
like that's what they wanted to do.
I have such sights to show you.
And the demons come in and they just do their job, and that's what they're there to do, and then
you asked for it.
That's what we're here for. And then it's kind of neat how the girl in it says, well, somebody escaped you. And they're like, what? And I thought it was kind of a cool idea. The first movie is a lot more. I mean, you hardly ever see the Cenobites in the first movie at all. It's all mostly
it's all like
it's mostly him trying to get his body back.
You think it's one
trying to get his body back.
He's the mummy basically.
It's one movie that turns into a second. Like you don't. It's misleading.
Mm-hmm.
But then like I think once the Cenobites come in and stuff, and like Pinhead, is the villain and stuff. Like I like that they explore his past in further movies. I think because I think people get interested in where did he come from? Kind of like the whole like Freddy Krueger thing. Like that's where I feel like Friday the 13th is real weak because it's a very like you hardly explore
same thing over and over again. Like
did
you ever see that other weird movie Nightbreed? Did you ever see that?
I know that I've seen Nightbreed before, but I can't around the plot.
That director is an actor in it. The one that does who's the director of The Fly?
John Carpenter?
No,
Cronenberg.
Cronenberg's an actual actor in the movie, and he plays the freaky monster thing at the end. He's a psychiatrist that likes to kill people. That's Cronenberg. But that was a weird movie because I thought it'd be all about the bad monsters, but really it was about monsters just trying to survive, hiding under the city and stuff in a graveyard. It was more like, just leave us alone. We just want to live down here.
That was the guy from Some Kind of Wonderful. Had the
the bully from Some Kind of Wonderful.
Yeah. I saw it at the theater.
So did I. Yeah. Nightbreed, check that out. Amazing makeup in that movie. Wow, the monster makeup is so good.
But I do need to write that one down.
Yeah,
that's why I initially was like, is that John Carpenter or did he do a remake? Is that the one with Jeff Goldblum?
That's The Fly.
The Fly. Yeah.
So, David Cronenberg.
What movie were you talking about? Oh,
was his name David? The
Cronenberg, I think that's David Cronenberg. Yeah.
We share the
you were talking.
I don't think he didn't direct. I don't think he directed Nightbreed. He was just in it as an actor.
Oh, Nightbreed. Sorry.
Sorry.
For some reason I heard for some reason I thought I heard The Fly. That's why I was thinking.
Well, I did because Cronenberg directed The Fly. That's his.
The original, or
the remake with Goldblum.
Oh, why do I think that's Carpenter? He did Thing. Okay.
Carpenter did Thing.
Yeah.
I love The Thing. I can watch
that's an all-time classic.
Yep.
I just my favorite part of The Thing is when the head becomes a spider and he looks over. You got to be fucking kidding.
They did that same effect with the head becoming a spider in It Chapter 2. Spoilers.
Sure did, and they even made the same line reference.
Yeah.
In it. Somebody said we have to say something. We have to say, you got to fucking be kidding me, because they knew it was a dead on thing.
I liked it though. It was creepy.
It was definitely paying respects to The Thing.
Yeah. I was just thinking of and Wishmaster. That's another good series. That's another series that's kind of fun. Kind of like Leprechaun, but better.
It's funny, isn't it?
That's got Robert Englund in there. Yeah.
Isn't it funny? Jennifer Aniston is in Leprechaun 1. She's like, she's got a huge nose because she haven't had her nose job yet. She's got this big honking. I mean, she still looks cute and everything. She didn't need a nose job, but it's just funny that how different she looks to today. You know.
Why can't I picture that actress? But yeah,
Jennifer Aniston. She was on Friends. She was.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Yeah, but she's the main girl in Leprechaun.
Yeah.
Got to start somewhere.
And
a lot
what's
of
his
actors
name?
come from more movies. So.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, fucking R2D, or the Ewok, or what's Warwick Davis? There we go.
The little person,
the little guy
who played the Leprechaun.
Willow. Yeah. And Star Wars and some other stuff.
Wicket.
Who's Warwick Davis?
I could talk.
What do you mean? Who's Warwick Davis? He's Willow.
I know. I gotta think. I know who Willow. Yes,
and Leprechaun.
Because
and an Ewok and an R2D. No, he didn't do R2D.
No, when he's running around being the Leprechaun, doesn't he look like he's having such a great time in that role?
Fucking right. Well, he was in like every one. They've done like 5 or 6 of them.
Yeah,
he's basically like the Robert Englund of Leprechaun.
Yeah.
God, I could talk about these movies all day.
Yeah, Gabrielle's throwing out like non-horror movie.
I know, but that's still a great fucking movie.
Yeah, that's a fun one. She brought up Dark Star, which I can't believe anyone but myself has seen that movie. That's Carpenter's like first movie when he was in college. He made that. It's about hippies in space, and their job is to blow up planets. And the bombs have their own AI.
Del's all. I love Point Break.
So weird. Point Break.
I could watch it all day long.
It's a great fucking movie, but Jesus.
I could watch a Point Break channel just 24/7.
I should do a full moon entertainment marathon. Watch all the Puppet Master movies and demonic toys. Actually, I've been wanting to do for years. I just haven't had the time. I think I have it on my list of videos to do for top 10s. I want to do a top 10 killer dolls list of like killer toys,
killer doll movies, like Chucky or just the movie Dolls or things like that. Oh, that'd be good.
Yeah, and it'll include it won't just be like all of them won't be movies. Some of them will be like in anthology movies. There will be an episode that involves them. So like but yeah, I want to do a top. Oh, fucking Event Horizon was great.
Oh God, that was a fucking letdown to me.
Really?
I did not like that movie.
I don't think I saw it.
There was like one good, like kind of like sort of creepy moment, but it was like a jump scare, and that's all that movie really had to hold for me.
There were a lot of jump scares, but it was effective for me at least.
That was an interesting idea. What was it? Sam Neill, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Event Horizon looked cool in the trailer, but sucked in the theater.
Yeah, that's basically
pretty true.
What I'm going with.
Yeah,
it just didn't work for me. It was there were some interesting ideas, but
wasn't it just like they found a portal to hell or something in space? Or
because they ran this new warp drive that had like a black hole at the heart of it, and then when they turned it on,
there are a few movies like
into like this creepy ghost ship or something. It just didn't.
Well, and it's kind of like what's the movie Sphere? Where the ship is alive, it turns out.
Yeah, and you grant some wishes that ends up killing themselves.
That's another weird one too. The
jellyfish. I don't really like that.
I like the jellyfish scene. Yeah.
Jellyfish scene.
Yeah.
You mean
there's
scene
where think that there's jellyfish everywhere, and I think it's a woman, and it like breaks her suit and stuff, and she just gets like, because it's like all the worst nightmares coming to life.
Right.
It's whatever you think about, or someone is, like isn't Samuel Jackson in that movie?
Yes.
And he's reading about like the squid and like 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, and then like all this like squid
it's cool
shit comes on top of their head.
Yeah, I think I saw that with my dad in the theater. That was a fun one.
Gabriella says The Gate. I just watched that recently too. You ever seen The Gate with Steven Dorff when he's like 9?
I was just actually just posting in IRC literally when that came out, because I've seen that on I don't know, one of the streaming channels, Amazon or
yeah, it's on Amazon, I think, right now. It's 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 a really good practical effect movie as well, and they actually have these little demons that run around. They're about a foot high, and they did it like
just like your Dragon Slayer.
They did it, yeah. They're about this high. and what's cool in the movie though, they use forced perspective, so they put these people in these costumes that are like demons, and they go ooh, running around, but they're done where it looks like they're in the scene, but they're live people in these costumes, or kids, or little people, or I don't know.
Like Lord of the Rings, the Hobbits. They're like,
yeah,
they're 15 feet
like
away.
That. Yeah, have you seen The Gate? No one's seen The Gate?
I have seen The Gate. It's been a while, but I have seen The Gate.
I've seen it too, but it's been years.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
It takes a good hour until shit hits the fan. So you got to hang with it because it is a little slow. Because the story of it is the parents are gone on vacation somewhere, like Vegas for the weekend or something, and the sister's put in charge, and the sister has a little party with a few friends, and they do things throughout the movie that they unknowingly are opening up the portal to hell. Like, hey, let's do a seance for fun. And that's one of the things they need to do to open the portal. Or, hey, let's read out of this weird satanic book we found. And then that starts to open the portal.
A Ouija board.
Yeah, a Ouija board. It's all shit like that. Hey, let's pretend to levitate with the 2-finger thing. Oh, shit, he really did levitate. And then it opens the portal to hell. Yeah, so...
that makes me think of the cheesy movie I've talked about a few times from like just 3 or 4 years ago called Beyond the Gates. I think that's still on Netflix.
Or From Beyond, you mean?
It's just called Beyond the Gates.
Oh, I think that's From Beyond.
It's a campy cheese fest. I absolutely it definitely makes my list of great campy cheese. Like
seen that one.
It's good. It's on I think it's still on Netflix, but yeah, it's about the VHS board game that I
want to say we talked about it on the show.
That's what I'm saying. Like I've brought it. Yeah, I've mentioned it before. Yeah, couple of the quick premise is a couple of brothers are visiting their dad owned an old video rental store, VHS type stuff. It's long shut down, but he goes missing, and so they go to the store and they're kind of cleaning up the tapes and getting it ready to be vacated or whatever, and they're kind of reminiscing about like, oh, this movie, that movie, and they go back into his office and they find one of the VHS games, tapes that you would play in a VCR and you would follow the board game with. There were several. I had a couple as a kid, and it turns out that the game's kind of alive, and whatever happens in the game kind of manifests. It's cool. It's a just campy cheat. Like, it's great. It's great for what is.
Yeah.
There are actually a fair amount of practical effects in there.
Sorry, Nick's talking about Scientology and he can't tell stories because they'll come after him.
Yeah, don't tell stories. You don't want them coming after you. I've seen Going Clear documentary.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I used to work for a Scientologist company. It's called Survival Insurance. And I didn't know when I joined them, but they used to have the ads on TV. I don't know if you guys remember or not. Used to be the owner of the company driving around in a Porsche hitchhiking, and a girl pulls up in a Porsche and says, do you want to ride? And he goes, are you insured by Survival? She says, no. He says, I can't take that ride. And it was like a big deal. And we sold auto
I didn't
insurance.
see that one.
Oh, that's
I only remember the volcano.
Right,
so I used to sell auto insurance for them, and the owner was heavily involved in Scientology, so we would go take courses and that sort of thing, like low-level stuff. It was all helpful. But
so did you go through, what do they call that? Are you clear? But like,
no, I'm not clear.
Is he a Theta 7? Are you like a?
Have you been a Xenu?
What level are you? Yeah.
Just low level, just enough to apply it to business. And,
say hi to Travolta for me.
Yeah.
Just watch that Going Clear documentary, and that's fucking scary enough. That's more scary than any other horror movie out there.
Yeah, the L. Ron Hubbard.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that shit exists.
Especially watching Tom Cruise talking over hundreds of thousands of people in a crowd. Dude, I'm loving it. It's so weird.
I have to admit, I did read some of L. Ron Hubbard's fucking science fiction just because I was starved for science fiction.
Really?
How was it? Because I know that he wrote it, but I never actually read any of it. Was he a good writer?
Well, so my understanding is that a lot of it's ghostwritten.
Oh,
really?
That's my understanding. So I don't know if that's true or not.
Ghostwritten.
It is our Halloween show.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't know. So yeah. Anyway, I mean, it was fine. There were stories. It was in space and aliens and shit like that. So that was cool. But
yeah, it was. But I put in an IRC today. I actually had to run a quick errand because we needed some copies being made to be made for this conference I was at, and so there was a copy center about a half mile away. So I threw on my walking shoes and I headed down there. And I passed a Church of Scientology, and then I passed the Christian Science reading room. And I'm like, nice. What the fuck kind of block? And it's right by the Capitol too, by the state. I was in Sacramento, it's right by the state Capitol building. It was like off to my like right within a stone's throw, and I'm like, this is so creepy. Like if they don't get you at one block, they're going to try to get you at the next block.
Yeah. I can't afford Scientology anyway.
Right? Yeah, no, you got to be rich for that shit.
Yeah, you have to have a lot of money to give them to make it to the highest levels.
Yep, so. To be saved or whatever it is.
I'd be still scrubbing floors over there for my whole life.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy how they have people that are just like do worker stuff over there?
There's people that sign multi-lifetime contracts. Like they're awesome. Indebted now to the church for
when I'm reincarnated
their whole life. Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, plus. Yeah. It would be kind of fun to take one of those the personality tests though. Like I'm curious what exactly that entails and what the sales pitch happens after that.
I envision the time machine from Napoleon Dynamite.
Well, that's the tester to see how much alien you have in you.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Like how interesting would it be to be like free personality test?
Yeah, I got it.
That would be a fun date night.
You did the visual.
Yeah, date night.
Right? Like, wouldn't that be like kind of fun?
Oh, that'd be a great date night.
It's
first date because.
Yeah. So supposedly Tom Cruise is like one of the only people that's like clear, that's why they call it going clear. You don't have any negative alien energy inside your body anymore. You've gotten it out. And the only way to get it out of your body is to confess. To I forget what they call the people, but you sit across from somebody and they record everything.
Right?
They auditing, yeah. So you confess things you remember as a child that you're guilty of, like, oh, I went to my friend's room when I was like 11 and I stole like a quarter off his table and I've always felt bad about it. Then that releases a little bit of the alien demon in your body. I could be way off on my explanation, but that's what it seemed like it was about in the documentary. But
that sounds like basic psychology.
Yeah, just let go of your guilt.
You're walking around with.
Yeah. Well, and it
let that shit go. Give him a quarter.
Yeah, and the fact that they even, that makes sense because they pull you in with something that's like free personality test. Like you're someone who's maybe attracted to learning more about yourself or psychology or examining the issues that you have. Like,
are you a better
personality test? And then it's like, okay, account? Yeah, we're gonna make you feel better.
That's your next. That question comes a little later, but yes.
Yeah, exactly.
These audits go from being like merely $500 to like hundreds of thousands of dollars each.
Yeah. To get to to go to the higher levels, you have to pay more money and stuff. And now the rumor is that this is just rumor. I'm not saying this is fact.
We're totally gonna get
you don't. Yeah, they're gonna send them after you.
The rumor is that John Travolta supposedly had admitted some of the gay stuff that was rumored about him, and that's all documented in that audit. And they have multiple tapes of him talking about it.
What's the gay
and so they hang it over his head that like, hey, if you ever
right, I just thought that was Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise maybe too, but I know John Travolta one is one I heard about. So, but yeah, so this keeps everybody in line, and they kind of
so they blackmail him.
Yeah. Basically, a form of blackmail that hey, don't you ever? Not that they would, or maybe they don't, but or they do.
Wait, is blackmail racist now?
But
Ding,
and sexist. Thank you very much.
And sexist. Hey guys.
Yeah. But how scary is that? You're in a religion, and then they threaten you with like oh, we have everything you said. They have servers and servers of of people's audits and just that they could use if they need it or
it's like so much for like like attorney-client privilege or
like the confessional in Catholicism.
That's kind of what it is.
Like the
or going to a psychiatrist.
Like it turns out when you went to confession, they were recording everything.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's the thing is Scientology started
Forgive
out where they
me
would
for
just
I have
listen.
sinned. I didn't wash my hands after taking a leak.
They would listen and,
That's right.
and
After
talk.
touching my penis, I didn't.
And then
my
it
penis.
turned into writing. They would write it all
penis.
down, and then it turned into taping and writing it all down. So it
they
evolved.
record everything. Yeah.
Yeah, they record it all. Yeah, they record everything.
And at least 20 years ago, when I worked for this company, the clear course at that point was somewhere in the neighborhood of $300K to take it.
Wow.
It's a lot of pinball machines.
That's a Jersey Jack or two.
yeah, that's at least 2 Jersey Jacks.
Right, that's a Jersey Jack off.
We're talking about the person. No, it's
Willy Wonkas.
Yeah.
Wonk my Willy.
Walking your Willy. It's exactly right.
So if you really want to see a real good horror movie, go watch Going Clear.
Yeah.
Terrifying. Jesus Christ, we descended into religion.
And supposedly it takes place on a ship in the middle of the ocean.
Well, the L. Ron Hubbard, when he was first starting his religion, he had it on his boat, and he took his boat way out off sea, so he was out of jurisdiction, so he could do whatever he wanted out there. He probably had wild sex parties. Who knows?
You got to hand it to the guy.
You kind of hope, right?
At least do something with it.
Somebody should be having fun with dynamite.
Yeah. I'm the captain. Swab the deck.
Suck
my dick.
Something good to come out.
Swab the deck. I mean, suck my dick.
My dick.
Yeah.
Suck it.
Swab it. Exactly.
We're all going to Dynex hell.
They're in the chat right now. They're in the IRC. They're recording everything.
All right.
Record this. No.
I've been watching Boston Legal from I'm up to like season 3. I just posted a link. There's a great Scientology with Alan Shore, James Spader arguing because the premise of the scene, just to give you a little background, if you do watch it, I just posted in the IRC and the thing was that this guy was a lawyer in a firm and he got fired and he's suing me for wrongful termination. And they were saying that he was bringing up the Scientology to the clients, making them, trying to recruit. And then they're saying, no, you could talk about religion. And then Shore goes off like, well, this and it's kind of, I like James Spader a lot. So, but it made me think because but it's pretty interesting. It's good.
If you watch Lisa Rinna, I think that's her name, from King of Queens, she's one of the only few actors that have left.
I saw
openly talked about it. So if you ever watch her interviews about it, they're all over YouTube.
Well, she had a show.
My
wife was watching it. I don't know if it only lasted one season.
And she got totally blacklisted by her friends or family or mom and dad and all this horrible stuff. I feel terrible for her,
She's gonna die.
Yeah.
At some point when nobody expects it.
Oh, I see what you mean. I suppose all of us dying at some point. But yes. Yeah. You're just gonna die.
Birth is a death.
I'm gonna make that prediction about all of us. I mean, not to be
eventually.
Downer. Yeah.
Well, I'm on number 1 on the death pool for work because of what I eat.
And your 3 heart attacks.
Yeah.
My nicotine love of Bud Light, sugary sodas, steak subs. And it's like
steak subs.
Yeah. I'm on lisinopril. My blood pressure's great. And the one guy who's a little heavier than me has pneumonia, so he moved up a little bit, but I'm in the top 5 of the death pool. And but I go, my dad's 80 and he eats like me, so hey, I don't know.
Does he smoke and drink like you?
No, he doesn't. But I don't. You see, I smoke when I'm drinking, and that's what Leo says.
Yeah, but you always drink.
I know, but during the day I'm not smoking. It's not like the old
drinking.
You're not smoking the cruiser.
No. You're getting a donut in the morning and just bite, smoke. No, it's people. People don't smoke like they used to. Well, some people do. Maybe if you're construction and you work outdoors. But think about it, because people would have to go outside to have cigarettes. I mean, it's all horrible. I'm not condoning cigarettes by any means, but people don't smoke as much as they used to because they can't. because people used to smoke all day long at work.
Sure,
in
like
a restaurant when you're eating. Now it's like you have to go outside, so it's less. But it's just with this is peanut butter and jelly, a beer, a cigarette, whatever. But if I don't drink for 4 days, I'm got the hiccups. I'm not smoking cigarettes. It's one without the other. Is like I almost want to throw up. It's like I'm not gonna have a cigarette in the morning. You kidding? No way.
You have a Bud Light.
Interesting.
So, Andrew, if Trump gets this thing, elite by making vape pens or vape stuff illegal, would you like buy a whole bunch of like vape stuff just for if that ever happened?
Stockpile?
No. Yeah, stockpile it.
This is habit at this point, but you guys know, like there's like almost no nicotine in this, like what I do. So this is just.
So you just try to deal with it if they.
It's just.
They
got rid of it. I would just quit.
Yeah. You just drink heavier.
For some reason, yeah.
You gotta do something with your hand and your mouth.
I'm gonna pick up heroin.
Yay!
It's a cheap hobby.
Yeah. No, it's to me it's just a habit. So to me that would be a relative. It's not a chemical habit. It's more of just a physical habit. So
I love how the government tries to hide behind, oh, it's just so bad for you. But yeah, they don't do anything about the cigarettes or anything, It's because it's all funded by Philip Morris anyway, all that bullshit.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't Philip Morris like trying to buy out Juul and all like this shit?
Oh yeah. They've been trying to either buy it out or shut it down. They hate
because like fucking cigarette sales have gone through the floor.
Well, because they're not getting the young market is what loves the vape stuff.
And Colorado's like a big problem with that too. All the kids here seem to love it.
Yeah,
but to me, it's flavors. Like the whole the argument about the candy flavors. I mean, this is a horrible topic, but the whole thing about the candy flavors
tangent
is so fucking annoying because like people are like, oh, like you make bubblegum flavors and
watermelon, cherry,
all these like whoever heard of that?
All these like super delicious like flavors that like it's totally marketed towards kids, and it's like, no, it's not. You realize, of course, that adults are just grown-up kids. Grown-ups like fucking cherry Coke and watermelon and
name like half the cocktails that are out there and what they're flavored after.
Yeah,
it's 100% an issue that's with
fuzzy navel,
right? Well, yeah,
true. I haven't had one of those since I was like 19. Yeah. Now you're talking.
Lemon drop. These yummy candy flavored drinks.
So if the kids start like wanting to drink peppermint schnapps, and that becomes like the new hot fucking thing because it's like easy and or peach schnapps or whatever it is. It's like you're gonna ban that shit because it's like what the kids want to drink. Well, it's like of course the kids want to drink that shit
because it tastes like good.
Candy.
Pancake shots.
Right, pancake shots.
Yay! Oh, we haven't done those in a long time.
No.
So it's such a stupid argument to say that like grown-ups don't like sweet, delicious things too. And so you should make all the e-cigarette flavors be tobacco.
Tastes like butt. Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck is the point of that?
What the hell, Dale's Arcade? What'd you put in there?
What happened?
Oh no, he's a spam bot. Get him out of there.
Dale, you're killing us.
I like that. Oops.
Is that a link to a database?
The argument's retarded. And
Ron Hubbard.
Yeah, Scientologists are hacking our IRC.
Say that about us, will you?
They got to Dell.
Yeah, they got to Dell.
Oh,
They're sitting at his desk right now.
Not him, too. Yeah.
No.
Bring in the logic,
I apologize
bro.
for any of our Scientologist listeners because I don't know who's out there, but I'm just.
Well, now you know the trigger on conversation, TV. Scientology, and everyone goes nuts.
Maybe it was my Boston legal link. Got him pissed. They're still mad about that episode.
All right, guys, I'm going to call it a night.
Yeah,
I am too.
Yeah. It's about that time.
Yeah.
It's about that time.
Take us out, Maki.
All right. Well, thanks for everybody for joining us. Have a happy Halloween and stay safe out there. And join us again next week for another fun-filled episode of Arcade Hangout, where we get to talk about
movies.
Talk about movies.
We actually started off with a bunch of arcade talk.
We did. And yes, if you want to watch my stream tomorrow night, I'll be doing Cheyenne. So.
Yeah, and Jim's gonna do Cheyenne, and I'm gonna do Jello shots. And
ooh, can you do Jello shots?
Do some strawberry vape.
Yeah, you do that. Do the Jello shots while you can, because Trump will ban them.
Trump's gonna get rid of that too, because they want you to drink bourbon instead.
Yeah, just don't show up for a World Series game.
All right, you guys have a great one out there, and we'll see you next week.
Yep.
Well, I was going to a party in Amityville, matter of